Stadium's retractable roof is closed on a cool night in Houston for the Ravens and the Texans on Monday Night Football. John Harbaugh's team trying to bounce back. He said it was the toughest loss he's had in his 3 years as a Raven head coach. The loss by 3 to Pittsburgh at home last week. Gary Kubiak's team struggling. They've lost 5 of their last 6. A little bit of heat on everybody with this Houston team. Playoffs are the goal for this year. They've got a long way to go. They wear their battle red. They do this a couple of times a year. 2-1 in the red shirts and pants, and they'll see Ray Lewis and the defense on the field first. Ed Reed's ready to roll. Toss won by the Texans. They're going to receive. Probably not going to bring it back because Billy Cundiff has 34 touchbacks, an astonishing number. Off we go from Houston. And make it 35. More than half the kickoffs for Cundiff this year have been touchbacks. Big deal compared to where he was in his prior 6 seasons. Matt Schaub was the Atlanta Falcons' 3rd-round pick. He was the understudy for Michael Vick. Traded here in 2007. He's been a starter for 4 years. Great stats, throwing for 3,000 yards plus each of the last 3 years. Wins, that's what it's about now. And can he put this team over the top despite a porous defense? From the 20, here's Foster. Arian Foster opening carry, 16 yards. Grabbed by the scruff of the neck by Ed Reed.
Well, I like this. Arian Foster takes it right to the strength of the Baltimore Raven run defense with an outside zone play. Take a look at him. They block it very well on the backside. It allows Foster to put that right foot in the ground and slash back to the inside. But the Houston Texans do a tremendous job with this zone blocking scheme, blocking the backside.
Foster to the right. Gains a couple of yards. That was his 14th run of 15 or more yards this year. Arian Foster having a great season, leading the league in yards from scrimmage with 1 game less than most of the other guys. Devontae Leach is fullback, a big reason. Owen Daniels not starting, but he's coming back in the lineup. They've missed their Pro Bowl tight end with Johnson and Walter, the receivers. Up front, Dwayne Brown and a couple of false starts to try to keep it in check tonight. They have a very thin, quote-unquote, offensive line. By weight, they have the lightest offensive line on average in the entire NFL. Now play action to Foster, and a shot for Andre Johnson, who's open. Broken up. Josh Wilson made a big play, or Johnson was going to go all the way.
Well, this is what the Houston Texans love to do. Run the football, set up a play-action passing game, and take their shot. You'll see the play action. Maximum protection. Give the quarterback time in the pocket. Move around, buy some time. And what a terrific play by Josh Wilson at the end of the play. Look at him knock that ball away from Andre Johnson.
They picked up Wilson before the season started. A lot of problems in the secondary with injuries, and they traded with Seattle to get the veteran Wilson in here. 3rd and 7. Ravens blitz picked up. Pass for Johnson incomplete. Ton of contact outside of 5 yards and no flag.
That's a really good start for this Ravens secondary. Josh Wilson just got here from the Seattle Seahawks on September 1st. This secondary of the Ravens has had numerous injuries. Josh Wilson starting for Fabian Washington. Back-to-back plays against Andre Johnson. Great confidence builder.
Ladarius Webb returns the punts. Matt Turk, age 42, kicks it. Fair catch called and made. The kick was 47. No return by Webb. Scoreless here. 1:40 in. Joe Flacco and the Ravens offense on the field after this. Houston, Texas. Some of the scenes here leading up to the holiday. Scoreless in the opening quarter. The Ravens get their first shot at it on offense. Joe Flacco from the 15. A run right away with Ray Rice. Only about a yard. This Ravens offense trying to get the run established. Support Flacco here a little bit. Feeling a bit more pressure the way things ended last week in Pittsburgh. Guy trying to make the playoffs in his 3rd year in the league. He's been there the first 2.
Yeah, and you get the feeling after that game, Mike, that the Ravens wanted to get back to Raven football. You know, tough, physical identity, the power running game. They start off, you know, with Chris Chester, normally an interior lineman at the tight end spot. You'll see him once again at the tight end spot.
Yeah, Jaws, 6 offensive linemen out of the gate for the Ravens. Play action with Pollard, the safety holding on. Flacco's brought down with Cushing and Pollard combining on the sack.
Well, it's a very similar problem that the Ravens had last week with the Steelers, the safety blitz. Last week it was Polamalu. This week you're going to see Pollard come right off the edge. Ray Rice has to make this pickup. You don't like the cut block when the quarterback is in a deep drop. Not a good start for the Baltimore Ravens offensively.
3rd and 14. Flacco throws. It's caught by Bolden, who works extra hard through a missed tackle to get the first down across the 25-yard line.
And Mike, you said it, missed tackle. That's been the Achilles heel of this Texans defense all season long. You get in position to make a tackle short of the first down. You miss, move the chains for the Ravens.
That's impossible. Last week against Philadelphia, you saw the problems on not just 3rd down, 3rd and long, 3rd and 19, 3rd and 16. It's impossible to convert that many long yardage 3rd downs.
Just to update everyone, in the game in Detroit, the Giants have just scored a touchdown. They lead 14-3 right before halftime. Keep you updated, show it to you in a little bit. Here's a Flacco first down, deep set, deep pass down the middle. It is caught and dropped by Mason. The veteran Derek Mason got by Kareem Jackson, but couldn't hold on.
Well, you can't throw the football any better deep down the field. Once again, you'll see the maximum protection. Chris Chester in there at the tight end. They're going to block this up. LaRon McClain inside. This is literally a 2-receiver route. Joe hits it a little bit, but look at this throw. Derek Mason has to make this catch.
Beautiful route. Watch him take the rookie Kareem Jackson to the corner and then back to the post. Sensational throw and a great route. You have to make that catch.
Mason hobbled off as he came to the Baltimore sideline. 2nd and 10, Flacco. Another throw. This one's caught by T.J. Houshmandzadeh. Yard shy of the first down in front of Kareem Jackson. Let's let you know who's out there with Flacco, the rest of the offense. Mentioned Ray Rice. Not the eye-popping numbers he had last year, but still, he's over 100 yards a game from scrimmage. McClain is back in there, was out with an injury last week. Todd Heap is out this week, and Dixon in his stead. There you see the guys up front. Michael Orr, the left tackle, needs to have a bigger game this week. And the aforementioned McClain back after missing the Pittsburgh game with an ankle injury, has it for the first down.
And everything the Ravens are doing offensively involved Chris Chester as a tight end, an offensive lineman playing as a tight end. Losing Todd Heap, Jaws, has hurt Baltimore. Clearly their rookie tight ends, Pitta and Dixon, struggle to run block, and they're going to lean on their offensive linemen to play tight end tonight.
Here's Rice with a block from McClain across the 40, out to the 42-yard line. Those of you who are watching the Giants game against Minnesota, 14-3, the Giants lead. They've just gone to halftime. It's the first possession for the Ravens. Houston got a first down on their initial possession. Couldn't do much more with it. The Ravens at 8-4 off their disappointing loss to Pittsburgh. His offense has been challenged this week, and they're challenged more without Todd Heap, their Pro Bowl tight end. It's a Houston team at 5-7 trying to find their late season magic. They won their last 4 last year to get close to the playoffs. Need to do the same here tonight. Willis McGahee in the game, 2nd and 5. There's the former Miami Hurricane. A couple of yards for McGahee, and our first marker of the night.
Illegal motion on the Ravens, clearly.
Bill Levy, our referee.
Illegal motion. For 81 moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That's on Bolden. Now, Derek Mason dropped a big pass earlier on downfield in this drive. He was hobbling over to the sideline. Right ankle is looked at, checked out. And the 14-year veteran out of Michigan State comes back in.
Joe Flacco has an outstanding receiving core to throw to. When you look at Derek Mason, Anquan Bolden, TJ Houshmandzadeh, all excellent possession receivers, and he wants to go deep. He's always got the speed of Dante Stallworth.
Second and 10, a shotgun run with Rice. It's about 4 yards. Go to our command center. Let's get an update on the review of the Giants' touchdown. Here's Chris Berman.
All right, Michael, good evening to you. About the 2-minute warning, 7-3 the Giants. Tavares Jackson. That's going to be a big loss. Then the Giants eventually take over. And then from the 6, which is seconds to go, Eli Manning to Kevin Boss. Extra points good. That's how they go to half. 14-3, the G-Men.
We'll keep you updated.
Thank you, Boom. They took a long look at that one, determined Boss did have possession in the end zone. Here it's 3rd and 6. It's the 4-man rush, Flacco. Broken up. Good play at the last second by Glover Quinn, one of those quarterbacks who have struggled this year.
I give Glover Quinn a lot of credit. This guy's been a lightning rod. He's had a lot of plays go against him, but right here in his zone defense, he makes a good break on the ball, gets there just in time. That's a nice play, Jaws.
Yeah, and he was telling us on Saturday he likes his matchup against Anquan Bolden. He showed why right there.
Sam Cooks, the punter, very good pinning the opponent inside the 20. Kobe Jones is back, and there's another one pinned inside the 20. A 50-yard kick with no return. Each team's had a possession, a couple of first downs for the Ravens, one for the Texans, and no score. In 2003, he was the number 3 overall pick in the draft, Andre Johnson, and because this franchise has never made it to the playoffs, it's a little bit anonymous, the greatness and success of Andre Johnson. Truly a difference-making receiver, already targeted twice on the first 4 Texans plays and playing through a lot of pain in his right ankle. That Schaub goes to the area, cleared out by Johnson, incomplete for Owen Daniels, the tight end who's coming back from his own injury. This has been the injury that Johnson's been dealing with. Week 2 against the Redskins. That ankle was injured. Then the very next week against Dallas, it was aggravated. He missed the following game against Oakland, has played through pain, coming back and playing most of the games. And last week on a reverse against Philadelphia on Thursday night, he hurt his ankle, went back to the locker room, took a pain-killing injection or 2. He only came back in and caught 6 balls for $149.
I can't understand the reverse for a guy with a bad ankle.
Second down run with Foster. Arian Foster gets 5 yards to the 15. And John, you spent time on the bus this week with Andre. What a difference-making player he is.
Yeah, I coach receivers too, and what people don't see is what this guy goes through to get ready to play. I mean, this is a high ankle sprain. The guy can't practice until Thursday. He takes a shot on game day. You got to see how he feels the day after the game. This guy is unbelievably tough, and there's no way he can be playing at this level with a high ankle sprain. This is a special guy.
Third and 5 to choose from. An incomplete Joel Dreesen, the other tight end, covered by Chris Carr, and it's 3 and out for Matt Schaub of the Texans.
The Texans are struggling to find their passing rhythm. You know, this is a very prolific passing game right now, having their troubles.
I think they miss the 3rd receiver this year. Jacoby Jones, this is not delivered, and clearly Owen Daniels is not the receiving tight end threat that he has been in years past because of injury.
Matt Turk kicks to Ladarius Webb. Not a deep kick, just 39 yards. Webb takes it, returns it 2. Well covered on teams by James Casey and Zach Dodds. Flacco and the Ravens have good field position as Andre Johnson and the Houston offense slow to start halfway through the first. That's Michael Orr, the left tackle, second year, much known from the movie The Blind Side. The entire offensive line and protection problems, part of the story against Pittsburgh last week.
Well, they lack details. Take a look at the same blitz from the same blitzer not being accounted for. You don't know who's at fault, whether it's the left tackle, the communication up front, the running back going the wrong way. Nobody knows. But when you have a safety blitz problem in this league, one week and you don't have it solved, you're going to see it the next week. And that's what the Houston Texans did right away with Bernard Pollard running over Ray Rice for a key sack. The Ravens got to handle these perimeter pressures better, or they're going to continue to see them.
Chris Chester, the other offensive lineman, 6 on the field. He lines up in the backfield, and that comes up to that tight end spot. Without Todd Heap, they don't have a good blocking tight end, and they had movement on the left side of the line.
Forsard, number 74 offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, they're helping Houston's defense here with some mistakes early on. That penalty on Orr. Let's go through quickly that Houston defense. Only Washington's given up more yards. Mario Williams, former number 1 overall pick, is injured. He has sports hernia, still has 8 sacks. Missing their middle linebacker, D'Amico Ryans. Brian Cushing tried it, and they moved it back to the outside. And Quinn and Jackson, those are the guys to watch. Those corners have been picked on and abused a lot this year. 1st and 15, Ray Rice, only a yard or so. Mark Anderson on the stop. Jaws, let's talk about this Baltimore offense. And we saw the problems they had against Pittsburgh last week, and we see some problems here tonight. Where do you think they try to go tonight to get themselves steady?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt they want to become a physical football team, a tough team. That is the identity that John Harbaugh, who's a defensive-minded head coach, that's what he wants to instill. Then you open up the play-action pass game, and Joe Flacco's terrific working outside the numbers.
That's why we're seeing all these snaps with 6 offensive linemen here tonight. Flacco to Ray Rice. Great move by Rice to get a first down into Houston territory at the 40-yard line.
And as we've studied Joe Flacco this season, this is one area that he must improve. Checking the ball down. He has a tendency to look for the big play down the field and force some throws there. Take the safe throw, the positive game. That's how Joe Flacco will continue to improve as a quarterback. This 4th quarter of the season, very important for Joe Flacco to take that next step toward greatness.
It's an easy guy to throw to. Rice, so good as a receiver. Play action, 2 receivers downfield on the route, and they recovered. So Flacco's got to get rid of it. He throws it away.
You know, one of the things I want to see from this Raven offense is a quick start on the road. For whatever reason, this has not been a good offensive football team on the road. I think they've only scored 13 points in the first quarter in 6 road games. They need to jump on the Houston Texans. They've already had a couple false starts. Mason's dropped the big ball. They need to get some points on the board early in a football game on the road.
They haven't been that good at home either, John. They've only scored 31 in the first quarter at home.
Second down, set up the screen for LaRon McClain. And McClain's got much more than a first down. He's got 17 yards before the rookie Darryl Sharpton tackles him at the 23.
Well, what a play by Joe Flacco. Sean Cody, number 95, did an excellent job of reading the screen. You'll see off the play action fake. Joe's got to snap his head around. He sees Cody outside him, throws the ball away from the coverage. Good location on the throw to move the chains.
Rice carries, runs over Kevin Bentley, the middle linebacker, and gains about 5 yards. Ray Rice in his 3rd year out of Rutgers. We referenced a couple of times 2009. Only Chris Johnson had more yards from scrimmage. This guy has been a high percent of the Ravens offense the last couple of seasons.
I like that run right there. He just ran over the middle linebacker, Kevin Bentley. Powerful guy, Ray Rice.
It's time in the red zone tonight. Flag down. Flacco throws. Broken up at the goal line. Looking for Bolden. Go over Quinn. Knocked it away. Let's check the flag.
Offside. Number 56 defense lined up in the neutral zone. A 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Brian Cushing, last year's rookie defensive player of the year, suspended the first 4 games this year for violating the performance-enhancing drug policy.
Once again, Glover Quinn makes a nice play on Anquan Bolden. I found it kind of interesting in our production meeting on Saturday. I mean, he really showed some great confidence about playing against Bolden. He played against him a year ago and felt good. Felt it was a good matchup for him. And so far tonight, Glover Quinn has played very well.
12 starts last year. Started out as the nickelback as a rookie. Got a rookie starting on the other side, Kareem Jackson, who they took out of Alabama. Willis McGahee came in. Joe Flacco doesn't like what he sees, so the Ravens will take their first time out. 4:40 left in the opening quarter. Baltimore trying to strike first. 41st President of the United States, George Bush, on hand here tonight, here at many Texans games, many sporting events in the Houston area as well. A great sportsman, a former baseball player during his college days. See the president here watching the Houston Texans at 5-7. Team that has been great in the last quarter of the season, the last 3 years. Only 2 losses in that final quarter. Willis McGahee still in the back, patiently looking for space, and Darryl Sharpton tackles him. So one Miami Hurricane tackles another after a short game.
And a lot of teams use a different kind of back in these tight red zone areas. The last couple of years, that guy's been Willis McGahee. He's a lot stronger and bigger than I've ever seen him. Closing in at about 245, Jaws. And Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens, loves to lean on the big backs down here of the Ravens.
Yeah, the other big back is LeRon McClain at 6'2", 260.
Golden, the only receiver on 2nd and 9. A couple of tight ends going toward the end zone. And nowhere close for Dennis Pitta. And a flag comes down as Brian Cushing was trying to cover him.
Well, they got Cushing there for pass interference.
Pass interference. Number 56 defense. First down. Spot of the foul.
It's been a tough year for Brian Cushing. Last year's MVP, or rookie, I should say, of the year on defense. Take a look at him one-on-one with a rookie. Pitta trailing him in coverage. Can't grab his jersey. That's another big penalty against this young Texan defense.
Grab is what they called. And it's 1st and goal at the 1. McGahee stopped. Good penetration led by Zach Dials and Antonio Smith.
Well, this is where the attitude runs have to come in play for the Baltimore Ravens. We can talk all we want about a physical identity, but when you get down here around the 1-yard line, this is where you have to count on your offensive line to come off the ball and create some line search, or your back can get in the backfield. This is what the Ravens are all about right here.
Well, every offensive line active tonight is it. 7 offensive linemen for the Ravens. Paving the way from McGahee. A pounding run at the goal line. And a touchdown.
Pounding, that's a good word for it, Mike. They had the biggest army of Ravens you'll ever see. Take a look at it from the end zone. Just a reverse pivot. And there's that big back McGahee one-on-one in the hole with Troy Nolan. And McGahee's going to win that every time.
Yeah, no match for Nolan at 200 pounds. And as John just said, McGahee with a full steam start at 245, he's going to win.
Billy Cundiff adds the extra point. So the inability of the Texans to get a first down when their drive started at their own 15 left a short field. And McGahee punches it in from a yard out. Bears-Vikings, our game next Monday night, 8:30 Eastern. We don't know where the game's going to be, depending on what's going on with the Metrodome. I can tell you the Vikings are trailing the Giants 14-3 right now in Detroit. They just had the ball in good field position. And replacing Brett Favre, Tavares Jackson threw an interception in Giants territory. So the Vikings trying to find a way to stay alive and get a 6th win tonight. They'll take on the Bears, licking their wounds after the Patriots beat them on a Chicago Bear kind of day. They beat them, they demolished them.
I'm still trying to figure out how Billy Cundiff has 35 touchbacks. Mike?
It's amazing, John. He had 11 in his first 209 kickoffs of his career. This one's going to be a couple of yards short of a touchback. And Steve Slayton is tackled shy of the 20. This is brought down by David Reed. So on comes the Baltimore defense. How good? Well, less than 4 yards a carry for consecutive seasons. The Ravens have done it the last 14 years, one shy of the NFL record held by the Cowboys and the Bills of those years you see there. Where are they this year? Just a skosh above 4 at 4.03. It's still top 10 in the league where they've been throughout this entire stretch, and 2 reasons why they've done it a good part. Aloti Nata and Ray Lewis, part of that terrific front 7 the entire decade, really, for the Ravens. Arian Foster on cue gains about 4 yards. A hair more on that carry. So that front 7 we talked about. You got Nata, who gets all the attention, but Kelly Gregg does a good job on the point at the nose, controlling things. Redding also up front, who came over from Seattle. With Lewis in the linebacking core, the sack guy, Terrell Suggs, leads this team with 9. And in the secondary, what are they going to do back there with Chris Carr and Josh Wilson at corner spot? The weakness, Ed Reed, coming back off of his injury, missed the first 6. He's played 6 and he has 4 interceptions. That Schaub dropped by his tight end Owen Daniels, and Schaub, who usually completes it at a high percentage, is 0 for 5 to start tonight.
And it's been some outstanding defensive plays and a couple drop balls already early in the game, and Shaw puts this one right on the hands of Owen Daniels. Got to make this grab.
Daniels' first action, Josh, since he injured his hamstring. He's missed his last 5 games. And now it's a Suggs down. It's a pressure down. Here he comes on 3rd and 6. Schaub's play is caught for the first down. David Anderson taking it across the 30 and to the 34.
I just don't see this Raven defense as a man-to-man defense. This is a zone football team, and they struggle a lot when they play man-to-man coverage. That time is just David Anderson one-on-one in the slot, and he's got a 2-way go. He breaks to the outside, good protection, but it's just easy pickings. The Ravens do not play great man-to-man coverage like they have in years past with McAllister and Samari Roll.
It stops Schaub's longest stretch of the season with incompletions. He gives it back to Foster. The guy's going to make him pay the most here tonight. On the ground to the 38.
I love this 2-back offense of the Texans. Watch Vontae Leach in the hole against Ray Lewis. He's going to be looking for the middle linebacker all night long. And these Texans, they have a little petition going on. They want Vontae Leach to go to the beach, and that is the Pro Bowl. Keep an eye on Leach versus Lewis on the inside runs tonight.
However, John, the Ravens do a nice job of committing a safety in that run game and making the play.
Owen Daniels released from that fullback spot, going down the seam. He caught it. Hit by Ed Reed, but taken to the 37, 25 yards on the game.
Well, it's all about matchups in the passing game. When you get the opportunity for a talented tight end like Dreesen, number 81, coming out of the backfield, getting a matchup on T-Sizzle, Terrell Suggs, he's going to win that matchup. Nice little lane to drop the ball in there for Matt Schaub. That's a terrific throw. Love the play design. Got Daniels coming out the backfield. Suggs just can't catch up to him.
Schaub getting in rhythm. Everything's covered. He throws incomplete just to get rid of it with Kevin Walter as the receiver. Jaws mentioned play design. There was Daniels coming out of that fullback spot. That's something you like, John, about Gary Kubiak.
I like Gary Kubiak a lot. I mean, it's no coincidence. They have the #1 rusher in all of football in Arian Foster, and they have a great passing game. It's a top 5 to 10 offense every year because of their balance, and they are struggling, though, right now finding Andre Johnson. Keep an eye on number 80. They move him all over the place.
Up at the top of the screen now for 2nd and 10. Foster, there's one of those patented cutbacks that we see out of Foster in this Houston run offense. It's a lot like the Denver offense, which is, of course, where Kubiak was before becoming the head coach here.
This guy's a piece of work, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, we sat with him. Forget about all the numbers. I mean, go ahead, Jaws.
Yeah, he was talking about Eastern philosophy and all this stuff. And I know, John, you were totally confused.
I'm impressed with this guy. He can run and catch and block, and he's just getting started.
Schaub in trouble and will go down. Sack 9 on the year for Suggs. First quarter comes to end. It'll be 3rd and long for Schaub and the Texans offense. After the Defensive Player of the Month of November, Suggs makes the play. Yeah, they have not looked very good, Chris. Under 100 total yards for the Vikings so far against the Giants. Late 3rd there. It's 4th down. Neil Rackers is on. He's made his last 12 field goals. Now, this is going to be a 52-yarder. Short. And no good, so the Ravens will get good field position after the miss from Rackers. He had made a 53-yarder earlier this year at Indianapolis, and again, we're indoors tonight with the roof closed, but unable to get it there. The Ravens back on offense, and they upgraded their wide receiver position big time. 3 600-plus receptions in their careers for Mason, Bolden, Houshmandzadeh. Only team to have 3 wide receivers to have that level of catches. 500 or 600 now for the career of each individual. Giving weapons to Flacco. Getting it to Ray Rice around Cushing for a gain of a couple of yards. And, John, it's all great. Sounds really good. I give you a bunch of weapons. Go get them. But it's a little difficult. You know that. You had veteran receivers. They all want the ball.
Yeah. How'd you like to be the young quarterback when you got all these receivers saying, hey, give me the ball.
Now.
Give me the ball. It's tough on these guys. I mean, the quarterback has got to do what's right. He's got to throw the ball to the open receiver, use his checkdowns, all these things. But these receivers sometimes can dominate the conversations, man. And it puts a lot of pressure on a young quarterback to deal with the personalities of some of these great receivers.
Ray Rice for the run, shy of midfield. Jaws, there was a situation against the Panthers a couple of weeks ago. Derek Mason was asking for the ball a lot. He and Joe Flacco with a little sideline dust-up, and Flacco grabbed Mason by the face mask.
I love it. I mean, Joe Flacco taking charge of this offense. Joe's a pretty big fella at 6'6", 238 pounds. And, these wide receivers, for the most part, they're a bunch of divas. They want the football. The quarterback has to throw the ball where the defense dictates he throws the ball, or else you're going to get in trouble by forcing it.
In these short yardage 3rd down situations, Flacco loves to isolate Mason. He's at the top of the screen.
On 3rd and 3, looking that way, going that way. Good call, Drew. 1st down to the 45-yard line. Jason Allen had the cover.
Well, that's the key to running the football and staying ahead in the down and distance. When you get into 3rd down and 1 to 3s, you get a lot of single coverage for Derek Mason. It's a fly stop, and the ball's thrown perfectly. And Joe Flacco loves throwing the ball to Derek Mason. He's been his go-to guy now for 3 years. That's impressive.
And he also loves working outside the numbers. Big, strong arm. Can really stroke that ball to the outside.
Willis McGahee in the back. Gets about 4 yards. John, you had Jerry Rice, Andre Rison, and Tim Brown when you were in Oakland, 3 veteran receivers. How conscious were you of how the balls got distributed in play calling?
I went up to Tim Brown and Andre Rison, and I said, no offense, guys, but I'm confused. I'm going to throw it to Jerry Rice. He's the best of all time. You guys are great. I love coaching those kind of guys, and I think that's the key to the Baltimore Ravens down the stretch, leaning on these go-to playmakers in big games. That's a good problem to have, Mike.
Flacco, incomplete over the head of Houshmandzadeh, covered by Jason Allen.
Mike, I like the fact that now the league keeps this target statistic. At the end of every game, the receiver that was targeted, it's now a stat that you have, and quarterbacks love to look at that and see who's getting the football. Here, you'll see Houshmandzadeh being held up
by Jason Allen.
Jason Allen all over him, and
what is pass interference? What is that?
Texans got to make a play here.
Flacco on 3rd and 6. Too tall from Mason. And incomplete. And that was very important for a Houston defense that gives up 27 points a game. One of the poorest in the league.
I mean, you can almost bank on it when you watch this Raven offense. When it's single safety, bump and run, man-to-man, it's Flacco to Mason. That time the ball's delivered a little bit high. Would have been a great catch. I expect Flacco to hit that into the short side.
Joe was under pressure, John. Had to kind of get rid of it a little bit sooner than he wanted to. Protecting my quarterback.
Sam Cook will try to kill it inside the 10. Wow, wonderful. That's when you drop the ball straight down as a punter. You get it turning end over end like a kickoff, and then it bounces in your favor. Out at the 4. Cook gets the job done. It's a long field for the struggling Texans. By population, America's 4th largest city, Houston, Texas. Texans trailing the Ravens 7-0, and again a long field for Houston, starting at its own 4-yard line.
Ball start, number 73. Offense, half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Eric Winston, a stat you brush by. Inside the 20 for a punter. Sam Cook's put a couple back in there tonight, John. 31, most in the league this year.
That is a huge weapon. When you have a great defense like the Ravens have, it's a long way to go, Jaws, when you look through your face mask and have 90 yards to go. Sam Cook's a winning edge for this Raven football team.
There's Nata, Lewis, and Reed in the way. Also, Darian Foster carries for a yard, and that's part of what Baltimore has built, that template of special teams. Billy Cundiff, the touchbacks, long field to go on a kickoff. Dropping punts inside the 15 or the 20-yard line, long field to go.
Well, you know, John Harbaugh, you know, he cut his teeth as a special teams coach. He knows the importance of flipping the field, winning the field position game. You know, in the NFL, only about 10% of the drives go 80 yards or more. So you're not going to sustain offense for 12 plays and go 80 yards or more, particularly against this defense.
Second and 11 from his own end zone. Schaub has to get rid of it. Behind Daniels, made a brilliant catch. To the 34, tackled by Ed Reed. That had potential disaster all over it. Instead, gain of 31.
Well, Matt Schaub does a magnificent job staying alive in the pocket, but what a catch by Owen Daniels. Schaub does a terrific job of moving, buying a little time so the pressure couldn't get to him, and McClain gets beat on the play. Thought he was going to get an interception, ends up with a long completion.
Boy, if they get Owen Daniels back, this is a totally different animal, this Texan offense.
Biggest game of a season truncated by injury for Daniels. With Foster running left. A little less than 2 yards.
Speaking of Owen Daniels, how about this catch? It's a great job by Schaub under duress. Dwayne Brown is struggling with Suggs off that left side. He just puts it up and lets Owen Daniels have a chance. But a one-handed tip to yourself. That is sweet, Jaws.
You're right. Owen Daniels back.
Great season in 08, 70 receptions. Got a problem with the huddle there. Do you have too many guys or just enough guys? Well, just enough. They have 11. They got scared there for a second that they had substitution infraction. Foster pinballs off of Lewis to DeJuan Landry, shy of the 40. Third and about 4 or 5 coming up.
Running the football against this Raven defense. You can probably hear it at home. That Haloti Ngata, number 92. Power, athletic ability, football intelligence. His desire and his stamina for a big man is rare, although you see him going off to finally get a drink. Not many big guys can play as long and hard as Haloti Ngata.
They got their pass rushing group out there now.
And 6 DBs for 3rd and 4. Schaub is sacked. Cody Redding. What you know about his 3rd sack. He is a Houstonian, so returns home.
Well, the backside, Tavares Gooden coming from the left, and Corey Redding coming from the right. You'll see Gooden right here on Arian Foster. Just blows him up, back into Schaub, forces Schaub to move outside the pocket, and Corey Redding is waiting for him.
Oh, and you can't step up. You're in trouble.
Beautiful kick by Turk. 53 yards. Webb from the 20. Trying to get to that space on the far side. There goes Ladarius Webb. And past the 40. The old Dreesen finally pulled them down. We have an official with a hat off and a flag, I believe, on that far sideline.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 22 of the kicking team, went out of bounds and did not come back in immediately. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down, timeout.
Well, Sherrick McManus does that, and that's a mistake by the rookie out of Northwestern. 35 bowl games. You see 33 of them on the ESPN family of networks. Capital One Bowl Week starts Saturday with BYU UTEP in New Mexico, followed by Northern Illinois, Fresno State, and then Ohio against Troy. All the games available on ESPN Radio, online at ESPN3.com, and on your phone. Ravens take over after the penalty in Texans territory, and a couple of yards on the first run with Ray Rice. There's Bob McNair sitting next to President Bush. Bob McNair, the founder, chairman, CEO of this franchise, and has done so much here sports-wise in Houston. And speaking of the bowl season, he's been very instrumental in getting the Texas Bowl going. That'll be December 29th. Illinois is going to come down here and play Baylor. Big 12 and Big 10 will have that on ESPN as well. After the gain of one, another run for Rice, and a lot of space this time. Ray Rice takes it to the 28-yard line.
This is one of my favorite draw plays. It's an old school draw play. Watch the left tackle set and then release down the field as they lure the defensive end up the field. This is a beautiful play by the Baltimore Ravens, expecting a pass rush from the Texans. Good play call by Cam Cameron. Good execution by their young left tackle, Michael Orr.
The old lag draw, John, effective once again.
From the 27, Flacco, fake left, went right to Hushmanzada, the 13-yard line. And the Ravens are rolling on offense as Mario Williams. There's a lot of watching here with this Houston defense.
Well, he's out there now, and I don't understand what they're doing a little bit here in Houston. That time they played a 34 defense, and he's playing outside linebacker, dropping into the curl area. He's clearly not himself. He's got a sports hernia. He's played all year with it. He's having a hard time changing directions. He's going to fight through it, but it's been a struggle.
The tackles thus far tonight. Rice, Williams going toward the pile to help make the stop. That's the #1 overall pick from the draft, of course, 5 years ago, and he has been dependable, starting every game. But Gary Kubiak telling us the pain he has gone through. And this week, atypical week, because they played on Thursday night, but the normal week has been Mario Williams maybe for one practice in the week because of that sports hernia.
And Mike, he's been a warrior. There's no question. You know, John and I were talking earlier in the week, looking at the tape of Mario Williams. Not the same player he was when he's healthy. As we saw a moment ago in the two-point stance, dropping into coverage, he's got much more agility than he just showed us.
McGahee's the back. Flacco fakes it to him. Running away and throws, held on to by LaRon McClain for 2 yards. Well, another big third down for this Texans defense with 6 minutes in the second quarter.
With this Texan defense, they've lost their identity. They're missing their captain, middle linebacker, D'Amico Ryans. We all know Brian Cushing was suspended for the first 4 games. They've had a lot of issues. Dunter Robinson, a star corner, was let go in free agency. Their young secondary has not stepped up. And I think Mario needs some help up front. Guys like Amobi Okoye. Time is running out, Jaws. Some of these young Texan defensive linemen got to step up and help the big fella from NC State.
And they got to help those corners with some pass rush pressure, but you're not going to get it here. Only a 4-man rush.
Flacco throws. Caught by Mason. Yeah, they say he held on, had possession, inbounds for a touchdown. Tight play with a lot of contact at the back line.
Well, you'll see it right here. Mason goes up. He's bobbling the ball.
What a catch.
Looks like he has it. Derek Mason, and what a throw by Flacco. Puts it the only place Derek Mason can get two hands on it. Maintains possession through the catch.
Great job. They get to the point where you establish possession right there, and you get left foot, right foot down before the knee hits the white. That's the correct call. And very well called at full speed by the official on the back line. And it's 14-0 as Cundiff adds the extra point. Flacco with a touchdown pass, the 5th of the year, hauled in by Derek Mason. At age 36, each roll. Again, field position. The field is shortened. Nice punt return, the mistake on the penalty. And they convert the third down play. Flacco to Mason for the touchdown. 14-0 Baltimore here. Meantime, the Giants have just scored an Ahmad Bradshaw run of about 48 yards to put the Giants up 20-3, pending the extra point in Detroit against the Vikings. Another touchback from Cundiff. He's 3 of 3 on the night, 2 of 3 on the night, excuse me. 14-point lead, turn it over to the defensive studs, Ed and Ray. And earlier, Chris, Brandon Jacobs had a 73-yard run for the Giants, so Minnesota's run defense porous thus far. Schaub on first down, throws to Arian Foster, who caught it and lost it, and it's ruled incomplete on the field.
Take a look at the touchdown just seconds ago. Nice design. No back set, 3 receivers this way, and Flacco does a nice job looking off Kevin Bentley, and Mason just runs right across Troy Nolan's face. But a real good job by Flacco looking left, and a heck of a catch by Derek Mason. That's the one thing about Flacco in these third down, tight red zone areas. He can hum it, and he's got some guys that can go get it.
Critical in that red zone, Johnny said it. That quarterback that could stick it in.
Off the incompletion, 2nd and 10. Screen is knocked down by Nata. Good athletic play by the 350-pounder. And the fans in Houston are unhappy.
That's a good name for this guy. Nata today.
Haloti Ngata. You'll see number 92 right there. He does an outstanding job because this screen is set up nicely. There's some room to the outside. Okay, good defensive linemen. They can smell a screen. They can hear a screen. Ngata's one of those guys.
3rd and 10. Schaub downfield to Jones, incomplete. Well covered step for step by Webb. It is 3 and out. And Matt Schaub, who completes passes normally at a very high rate, usually 2 out of every 3. 3 of 12 here tonight.
And this crowd, you can hear it. But he throws the ball up. Give the Ravens secondary credit. We've seen Josh Wilson tonight make plays down the field. That time Ladarius Webb. And the Ravens have a chance to knock the Texans out with this upcoming drive.
Bad turf kicks to Webb again. On a fair catch after the 47-yard punt. And the Ravens will take over right around the 33. We're talking about the quarterbacks, Joe Flacco and Matt Schaub, both challenged by their coaches here this week. Take us a little bit higher in this final quarter of the season. Flacco's been good tonight, and Schaub in this offense struggling mightily, Jaws.
Well, you know, there's no question, good quarterbacking will take it to the playoffs. Great quarterbacking takes it to the Super Bowl. And that's what I know the Ravens are looking for out of Joe Flacco. He has been rock solid as an NFL quarterback, but there comes a time when you just got to take your team and say, follow me, guys. We're going to the Super Bowl. That's where Flacco is right now. He's got to make it happen.
Trying to set up the screen for Rice. 37-yard line. Earl Mitchell tackle.
And Joe Flacco, once again, a very solid evening so far. In the pocket, you could just see the arm. I mean, he could stroke this ball. Joe's got good vision downfield. Take the check down. I love when you don't have it down the field. Dump it off. Get a completion. Get a positive play. Outside the numbers, I don't know if anyone throws the ball any better than Joe Flacco. Wow. And you can see right there, outstanding anticipation. Hitting Mason for the touchdown against tight coverage on the inside.
Rice carry, nowhere to go. Tim Jamison, second year out of Michigan, made the play.
You know, one of the things with this Raven offense at times, they have these one-back draw plays called, and they're outnumbered. And because of that, they have no chance. And you hear the coaches talking about guys in the box, numbers in the box. Usually in a one-back run, if there's 7 in the box, you're outnumbered. Throw the football, especially when you have Mason, Bolden, Hushmanzada out there in one-on-one coverage. Another big third down for this Texan defense.
Third and 6, they bring pressure on Flacco, who throws off Bolden's hands. And incomplete. Eugene Wilson trying to corral the ricochet. It was the veteran Antonio Smith who brought the pressure and forces the punt.
There was pressure, but Flacco hung in the pocket. He delivered a strike to Bolden. Start off that little trips to the right there, and Anquan not happy coming to the sideline. Well, that bounced right off his hands. Got to make that grab.
Kobe Jones waits for Sam Cook's kick. 51 yards from the 12. Jones, return of 9 to the 21. Brendan Ayambadejo, along with David Reed, made the tackle. Well, guys, we talk about both quarterbacks here, and let's just take the deep breath of the AFC. Stud elite quarterbacks, championship quarterbacks, Brady and Manning and Roethlisberger. Phillip Rivers, who is not the championships, but certainly the performance, now the respect of everyone around the league as an elite quarterback. These guys would be in the next tier. There's a significant gap, but these are the guys who, from a passing standpoint, potential and future, these are the guys who need to do it winning time this time of the year.
That time is now, Mike. You're absolutely right.
The 21, Schaub gives to Foster. Ray Lewis tackles him after the gain of 8. So where is Schaub in that AFC quarterback progression?
I think when you look at Schaub offensively, he's got a lot of weapons. It's a well-constructed offense under Gary Kubiak with outstanding balance. Their problem is their defense. It just isn't good enough right now. I think when Schaub gets all the components of the team around him, he'll be very successful in regards to winning and losing.
Like this tempo change, no huddle. Foster's going to get the first down across the 31.
I love the call, Mike, the tempo change. You mentioned get in and out, get that. They've been very sluggish.
Yeah.
You know, they've been very measured in and out of the huddle. Get them up, get them going. Greg Knapp working the sideline over there with Schaub. Let's go. Let's develop our tempo.
Look at that sideline sheet. This guy's got all the plays. And you can sense it. Gary Kubiak not happy at all with the way his offense is played.
Maybe ought to scale it back a little.
32, Schaub off the hands of Daniels, intercepted by Carr. Chris Carr tackled by Dwayne Brown at the 38. And it's not really the fault necessarily of the quarterback, but it is another turnover.
Well, when you throw the ball in the middle of the field and you're late or inaccurate, bad things are going to happen. Take a look at Schaub. Little jerk route in there to Owen Daniels. I just didn't think he was open, Ron. He's clearly covered. Good defense. There's your friend Ray Lewis. You can't cover a jerk route any better than that. And a jerk route is where the tight end hooks, faces the quarterback, and then jerks his body east or west away from the defender. Ray Lewis owned that coverage.
Yeah, and a lot of times that route makes a defender look like a jerk. Not that time.
That's not why you call it a jerk.
That's why I call it a jerk.
You would.
For Carr's second interception of the season, 6th on his career. Flacco to the middle and caught the 20 by Mason. 8 of 18, 2-minute warning. Ravens trying to apply a knockout punch after the offense continues to struggle for the Texans here in Houston tonight. Matt Schaub and the Houston offense is frustrated. They have been stopped cold here by the Ravens D. Only 5 first downs, and Baltimore with a great chance to extend the lead. Swing to Rice. Pushing, couldn't get to him. Rice couldn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Let's go a play ago.
Watch a beautiful play action pass. Guard's going to pull up in the hole. They're going to fool Cushing. And watch this beautiful fake as Flacco pulls up, and Derek Mason is wide open in the middle of that Texans secondary. play action pass, hard to be right. They fooled Cushing good there.
Yeah, Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator, beautiful design on that play. You could just see that window open up for the throw down the field.
Houston took the timeout. We remind you, Toyota halftime show coming up with Chris Berman. It's the end of 3 in Detroit. The Giants lead the Vikings 21-3. Chris will have the highlights. The fastest 3 minutes dedicated to Brett Favre, whose consecutive game streak came to an end tonight as he was inactive. And we'll talk big picture, the teams in trouble like the Pack, the Chiefs, and the Jets, all coming up on the Toyota halftime show. Tavares Jackson is 12 of 21 for 98 yards through 3 quarters as the Giants are dominating that game. Second and 11 here. Flacco got hit. It's off of Rice. The flag is down as it's incomplete. Houston gives him a free 5.
Offside. Number 91 defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Moby Okoye.
This is a critical error. You know, they had a bad penalty earlier in the first quarter on Cushing. Another big penalty here.
Let's not forget the 15-yarder on special teams. Going out of bounds, not coming back in on the punt. That gave Baltimore great field position on the drive where they scored.
The Texans just aren't good enough to overcome the self-inflicted wounds.
From the 16, Flacco hit by Pollard. The ball is out. It's recovered by Michael Orr of the Ravens. Big loss back to the 26-yard line.
Once again, you see the safety pressure coming off the corner. Is it number 43, Troy Polamalu from the Steelers? No. You'll see it, Bernard Pollard, number 31, coming from the backside of Joe Flacco. You'll see it right there. It's going to come off the edge, unaccounted for.
That's the same exact blitz that lost the game for the Ravens last week. The only difference is that's number 31 and not 43. That is 4 times in the last 6 quarters that exact blitz has rocked the Baltimore Ravens.
You just have to believe Michael Orr has to slide out and pick that up. He's going back inside with no one to his left. Take the widest in that protection.
Pollard had a sack of Michael Vick last week against the Eagles. It's 3rd and 16. First down awaits just shy of the 10-yard line. Again, a lot of pressure. Flacco lets it go. Mason came back, threw a shoe, and got a touchdown.
Bump and run coverage, single safety middle, find Derek Mason. And this back shoulder fade, Ron, 4 or 5 years ago, I saw it in the National Football League, and now it's a big part of it. Just take a look at the single safety right in the middle of the field. Flacco looks him off and throws the ball on Mason's back shoulder, and he dominates Jason Allen for an easy touchdown. What a beautiful thrown ball. Great location, and Mason knew exactly what Flacco was going to do.
And the most important part of that, John, was the trust that Joe Flacco had that Derek Mason was going to turn around and make the grab.
No doubt that his foot came down in bounds. He left his shoe there to prove it, huh?
How long has this guy done it, Derek Mason? You sit in a room with Joe Flacco, and we said, hey, bump and run, man-to-man, you got Bolden, you got Houshmandzadeh, and you got Mason. Who you going to go to? He said, hey, don't tell anybody, but I'm going to go to Mason. Look at this guy.
There you go.
He drops the ball early in the game, and he comes back with a red zone touchdown pass between 2 defenders, and then he just hits the back shoulder fade. You can't do it any better than Flacco and Mason right here. I'm telling you.
Well, as good wide receiver like a quarterback, you have to have amnesia. And early in the game, Mason dropped a big one. It would have been probably a long touchdown for the Ravens. But Flacco, confidence in his wide receivers, continues to stay with them. And you see Mason deliver.
And this Texans secondary, they just continue to be targeted and beaten. And it doesn't matter what the coverage, zone or man.
The coverage is actually pretty good by Jason Allen, but when you've got an offense executing their scheme like the Ravens are executing right now, very difficult. You're in good coverage position, and you just get out-muscled for the football.
Obviously, the Texans, they need a return from Steve Slayton, and they need to get something quick out of their 2-minute offense.
Cundiff's kick provides no return. Touchback, 3 out of 4 here for Cundiff. On the evening, our aerial coverage tonight from Reliance Stadium in Houston is brought to you by DirecTV. Stadium opened 9 years ago. They'll host the Final Four here this year, right next door to the Astrodome. I want to make Houston people feel good. Their stadium's nice. They're going to have the Final Four.
You do a good job, man.
If I'm going to talk about their football team, they're not going to feel good right now. Well, if you need to win this game, this has been a garbage effort out of your Texans so far. Schaub's pass broken up, intended for Johnson. Coverage by Wilson.
And Josh Wilson, as John alluded to earlier in the telecast, came here September 1st. He's getting a little better every week. Now, he can undercut this route because Andre Johnson can take it inside. He's got help over the top. This is really good play by the corner, Josh Wilson, understanding he can drive that route underneath because he's got that safety over the top.
No catches for Andre Johnson. That's a shock.
Has 71 on the year. Schaub has to get rid of it with the pressure, and it's incomplete over in the direction of Jacoby Jones. And right now, Baltimore's defense is doing exactly what you'd expect it to. Given a lead, they're not giving Houston any space.
You know, when I coached, we had a great defense a couple of those years. And when you lose a football game, usually the great players say, that's the end of that stuff. The Ravens avenge a loss as well as any team in the National Football League. Hard to beat them to start with, but they just refuse to lose 2 games in a row. They're all ticked off tonight.
At Schaub for 16 here tonight. Against the 3-man rush with 8 covering. Finds the opening. There's Andre Johnson for the first down. He's past the 36-yard line with $1:17 and a timeout remaining.
There is no question. Schaub's got to get these guys up to the line. Get them moving. $1:10 left here in the first half. They need a score.
High throw off the hands of Jones. Separated from the ball by Webb.
Well, this has been Jacoby Jones' problem all season long. He has not been consistent. You get in these situations, coverage is going to be tight. You're going to get hit. You've got to find a way. When you get your skin on that leather, you got to make the catch.
One of the things that's tough throwing the ball against his Raven defense is defensive coordinator Greg Madison dials up a lot of 3-man rushes. And a lot of the times there are 8 Raven defenders on that back end. There's just no windows to throw the ball.
And you look at those DBs back it up. 2nd and 10. Schaub finds the seam there. No, and Daniels dropped the ball.
They're dropping way too many balls, and the Texans deserve to be booed, and they deserve to be behind 21-0. You're in the 2-minute drill. Jacoby Jones drops the ball. It's a nice outside break, then back to the post. Ball's thrown perfectly for a big gain. And I know Owens had a lot of problems with that hamstring, but when you get a chance to make a big play like that, that's got to be routine.
Yeah, that's the 5th drop of the first half right now for the Texans.
Schaub, this one caught and out of bounds to stop the clock. Kevin Walter. First down into Raven territory at the 46.
That takes a lot of guts by Matt Schaub. A lot of guys come unglued. You're down 21-0. Crowd is booing. Guys are dropping balls. It's 3rd and 10. You're playing the Ravens. Guy just hangs in there, makes a beautiful throw to the sideline, and Houston's got a chance to get something. If there's ever any silver lining, it's the Houston Texans come back and play better offensive football than most teams I've seen in the NFL this year.
Yeah, they've had some furious finishes, comebacks in the second half. They're going to need one.
So do we. 1st and 10 from the 47. Schaub going to throw it, put it up top. There's a man open. Andre Johnson. Touchdown, Houston.
Well, this is Matt Schaub doing an outstanding job of moving in the pocket, extending the play, giving Andre Johnson time deep down the field to uncover. Good vision by Matt Schaub, finding him and bringing the Texans right back in the game.
Ed Reed cannot believe it. I don't know if he misjudged it, but that rarely happens.
In less than a minute, they went 80 yards. And Neil Rackers makes it 21-7, gets Houston back in the game. 46 yards on the touchdown score.
Yeah, Matt Schaub in the pocket right here. You'll see the pressure coming. Four-man rush from the Ravens. He moves out. Now, this buys time. That allows Andre Johnson to get behind Ed Reed. You'll see Andre right here. He's got the coverage from Josh Wilson. He leaves him go. He's got help over the top. But
it's a two-deep zone. And when Schaub pushed up, Reed took off to go get Schaub, and he didn't realize that Andre got a clean release on the outside. That's poor two-deep coverage by this Ravens secondary, and you rarely see that from the great Ed Reed. That is a huge play for the Houston Texans to crawl back in this football game.
Yeah, and Andre Johnson had been primarily invisible in this first half. A couple big plays on this drive, but making that catch right there, that's going to give a little life to that locker room at halftime.
I feel like I'm at the U. I mean, didn't those two guys, they were on the same team in 2001 of the Miami Hurricanes. I will go to my grave saying that is the greatest college football team I have ever seen. 2001, Jaws. Ed Reed, Andre Johnson. You saw McGahee earlier. I could go on and on.
You're not going to get much of an argument. 17 first-round draft choices.
I mean, Winslow, Shockey, Clinton Portis. Oh. That team might have won the NFC West. I'm glad they weren't on our schedule when I coached those 2001 Hurricanes.
Good to see you're up to date on your Miami history. Yeah. David Reed, the kickoff from the 4, and he's brought down as he came across the 25 and tackled by James Casey. Here's the team you mentioned, John, national championship team, 2001. They blew out everybody, won their games by an average of 33, beat Nebraska by 23 for the title out in the Rose Bowl. And the two you just talked about, Ed Reed and Andre Johnson on that team. Astonishing numbers. 38 of the 89 players on that team taken in the NFL draft. 17 of them taken in the first round, including Reed, Johnson, Willis McGahee right there.
I know, and I didn't get any of them, and that's why I'm out of coaching. I wish I could have got a few of those guys.
Yeah, we know Al Golden down there now. He's hoping to recruit some guys like that.
Al Golden was the Temple coach and was named yesterday as the new head coach at Miami. Flacco with 35 seconds and 2 timeouts. Gets it to Ray Rice to the 34, spilled by Kareem Jackson, the corner. Ravens not using either one of those timeouts.
That's a good call early in this type of possession. I wouldn't be surprised if they run a draw play and go to the locker room here.
They get the ball to start the third quarter. Flacco taking a sideline shot for Dante Stallworth, incomplete. The headline of this half, the touchdowns to Derek Mason, 2 of them. He had a 3-touchdown game in this stadium back in 2003, and he now has 7 touchdowns in his career against the Texans. So Derek Mason for Baltimore, the big offensive story here in the first half. And you see it's the first time he's had a multi-TD game since coming over from Tennessee.
Probably could have had a third, Mike. He dropped one early in the game. Yes. That would have been a long one for him.
But the Reed mistake there helping to give the Texans a sign of life. Flacco throws to Rice. The clock runs out on Baltimore, and that was a very laissez-faire approach to the end of the half. Baltimore gets the ball to start the third. It's 21-7 Ravens. Very busy Toyota halftime show. Be better to handle it than Deschamps. Here's Chris Berman.
Monday Night Football, where the powerful must prove themselves. The Ravens return to form. Matt Schaub was a marked man. Can Houston rally, or will Baltimore triumph? The Baltimore Ravens versus the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football.
Ravens get the ball to start the third quarter here at Reliance Stadium in Houston. 21-7 Baltimore trying to stay within a game of Pittsburgh in the AFC North with John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Mike Tirico. They're also trying to catch the Jets in that wild card chase. With a head-to-head win, Baltimore would become the team in the 5 seed for the moment. What'd you see in that first half as a Houston team struggled but finally got on the board toward the end?
Well, first of all, they've got to catch the ball better. They've dropped 5 footballs, and when you're behind, that becomes critical. They've had some key penalties in the red zone. The Raven kicking game has been outstanding. They've knocked the Texans back in their own field position.
Well, you know, the touchdown they got before the half, the Texans, that has to motivate them. When they go in the locker room now at halftime, they got something to build upon. And I'm sure Gary Kubiak is saying, hey, the Ravens have given up 90 points in the fourth quarter of the season. Keep plugging away. We got a shot.
It's a very important game for Houston at 5-7. Not mathematically out of the mix after tonight, but you start looking at the schedule. They've got winnable games, but a very long road with Jacksonville and Indianapolis ahead of them in the AFC South. Neil Racker's kick starts the third. From 3 yards deep to be taken out by David Reed. It's into the 25, but keeps going. Has the 40, and Reed down the sideline on a missed tackle will go all the way for a touchdown. 103 yards. I thought James Casey had him done and down.
What a great return. And once again, missed tackles haunt the Houston Texans. You got to give Reed a lot of credit. He takes it from 5 yards deep, busts it to the outside, breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles, and gets restarted, breaks another tackle, and the Texans lose contain, and David Reed is gone.
John, that was just an outstanding individual effort. 3 tacklers right there. He should be on the ground. He battles, he scratches, he fights. Another missed tackle there. 4 missed tackles.
Extra point is good, nearly blocked. It was Troy Nolan, Kevin Walter, and James Casey who had their opportunity but could not get David Reed. Officially 103 yards. It is the longest kick return in Ravens history. Reed was in the news this week. Police went to his apartment on Wednesday to investigate possible narcotics. They collected evidence. No charges at this point. Reed's done a good job returning kicks. This 5th-round pick in the recent draft had an 84-yard kick return earlier this year and now takes it 103. Man out of Utah goes the distance. It puts Flacco up 21 before the offense takes a snap.
And I used to keep stats just like everybody else. Yards after the catch, all that stuff. How about yards after missed tackles? Let's call that a yam. 92 yards David Reed makes after missed tackles. And after watching the Texans play defense and in the kicking game, that has crushed their football team this year. The inability to tackle, Ron.
It's a lost art. You know, it is amazing. Everyone goes for that Sports Center highlight. You know, you want to knock the guy out rather than wrap him up and drag him down. You know, you see a lot of that now. These teams working shells. You know, they have walkthroughs. You know, no one has any physical contact anymore, and I think it shows up in the poor tackling that we see week in and week out.
And these special teams for the Ravens, they have kept Houston backed up all night. And this guy Cundiff is a big reason why.
Sherrick McManus is back. He's going to get a chance from a yard deep. McManus ran into his own man at the 20, and Dante Stallworth brings him down at the 24-yard line. Matt Schaub and company quickly back out on the field, and like they were when they took the field the last drive in a 3-touchdown hole.
Very uncharacteristic night for Matt Schaub. 7 of 21. He's always been a very accurate passer. He's certainly thrown the ball accurate a number of times. Had 5 drops in that first half, which have really hurt him. But he's got to rally his team now.
From the 24 out of the snap of Chris Myers, Arian Foster goes left for about 3, John.
Well, the big theme tonight is missed tackles. We're not making this up. Here's Ray Rice on a simple check down. bury this guy. I mean, you can't allow a back to make that many guys miss. Once again, here's McClain on a screen pass. Make the tackle. So many yards tonight and throughout this season have come because of missed tackles. Gonna kill you, Jaws, no question.
Good time for Schaub. And this one caught by Daniels. Owen gets the first down, 38-yard line.
Well, that was the key, Mike. You said it. Time in the pocket. Schaub was able to look deep. Nothing opened up. He comes back inside to Owen Daniels. You'll see off the play action fake. That too deep shell. He's looking. Not there. Don't wait. Get the ball out of your hands. Move the chains. That's efficient quarterbacking from Matt Schaub.
Arian Foster carried 12 on the night. Just above 60 yards now for Arian here this evening. This is his second year out of Tennessee. It's a year ago today that he got his first opportunity, activated off the practice squad, and now with his totals tonight, he set a Texans franchise record, albeit a 9-year history of this franchise. Broke Steve Slayton's mark for rushing yards in the season. Slayton did it 2 years ago. Shy of the 44. Suggs chases. Schaub got rid of it for Daniels. It's only a gain of a yard and a half.
Well, it's Terrell Suggs. You call him T-Sizzle. I can see why. Watch this guy get off the ball. Terrell Suggs. He's like a racehorse. And it's a good thing Matt Schaub had eyes in the back of his head. Suggs has got a beat on Matt Schaub's snap count. I might send in, hey, use a hard count right here.
John, I was thinking the same thing. They're getting off the ball right now. They got to change the cadence.
Foster right, first down, across midfield. Up to the 47-yard line.
They're both thinking the same thing.
I like what Houston's doing right here. Don't forget about your friend, Arian Foster. Keep slamming away at the Ravens. Try to get this back into a 2-score game. But Arian Foster is the kind of back, if you give him enough touches, he's going to break one. And it's a nice job playing with his eyes, keeping his feet alive, and bouncing the ball on the edge and finishing.
Offensive MVP of the year for this Texans team is Foster. He holds on as the ball was slipping out. DeJuan Landry makes the tackle. That's a good first down gain. They're staying patient down 21 here.
Yeah.
Arian Foster with his rushing tonight, 74 yards, puts him number 1 in the NFL in rushing yards, 1,305. These numbers updated as he's passed Maurice Jones-Drew, and Adrian Peterson didn't gain much ground. Peterson had 14 carries, 26 yards tonight for Minnesota, as the Vikings are about to lose to the Giants. That game's 21-3 Giants with 1:10 left. Schaub has time, covered downfield deep. What's he going to do? Throws incomplete as Vontae Leach and Kevin Walter, like every other eligible receiver, well covered.
Well, I'm not so sure of that, Mike. I thought off the play action, he had Andre Johnson down the field.
Well, it's man-to-man coverage. You're going to see the 8-man front, and it's full play action. It looks like a 2-man route. Leach gets out late, but the coverage from the corners has been pretty solid all night. You got to give the Raven corners a lot of credit. Ladarius Webb, Josh Wilson, when they've been asked to play man-to-man coverage or 3 deep coverage, they've done a nice job.
Chris Carter, the third one. He's in the slot there. 3rd and 3, Schaub. Off the hands of the other tight end, Joel Dreesen, and incomplete. One more. Hands on it. Can't grab it. What's Houston going to do here?
You got to go for it.
I'm not sure he was throwing to Dreesen. Now, he had Andre Johnson coming in behind him. He may have been throwing the inside breaking route.
You know, 4th down right here. Down 3 scores. In this field position, I go for it, Ron. Give Schaub one of those check with me's. They'll have 2 plays called in the huddle. He'll have a chance to run the one called, or you'll hear him say can. He'll scratch it and get to the alternate play.
Ravens bring the heat. Schaub throws, caught by Jacoby Jones. Great speed. Jones to the 16. Pick up 25.
Matt Schaub understood the pressure was coming. That is critical for a quarterback to know that you've got to quicken up your pace. Schaub, when he saw the pressure, drifted back a little bit, bought a little time for Jacoby Jones to get open. You'll see the protection. Now he's buying a little time, letting Jones get open across the field. Good job by Schaub, being patient and drifting back.
When you play double bump and run, man-to-man in the slot, there's a chance you can get picked off. Nice call by Gary Kubiak.
Longest reception of the year for Jones. Foster delivers the blow, lost the football. Daniels had no idea it was behind him. He had a helmet of Redding sitting there right behind him. And the Texans able to get back on it.
There was some popping in the hole on that play. This is a deep handoff to Arian Foster, and he hit this thing full speed. What a collision. And look at the pile move. There's a reason why this cat has got a chance to win the NFL rushing title with runs like that.
So Jones fell back on it. Foster's lost 2 fumbles this year. Schaub caught by Walter, a couple of yards shy of the first down. Ray Lewis the tackle.
And I'll tell you, the Ravens blew a coverage here. Arian Foster drifted out of the backfield to the right, unaccounted for. If Schaub would have seen the coverage breakdown, maybe had an easy touchdown.
Here's an area 3rd down and 1. It looks like it might be just a little outside of 1 yard. I love studying short yardage offensive teams. And this year, the Houston Texans are 16 for 16 and 3rd down and 1. This might be a little bit too far to give it. Look out for a play action.
Derek Ward comes in at running back, takes the ball, slams it forward. Vontae Leach, the fullback, leads him to a first down inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Vontae Leach keeps blocking like that. He will be going to the beach, and we mean the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. When he did a yard and a little more, give it to Leach. Right, but follow Leach. Give it to your back in the backfield, Derek Ward, and follow number 44. Boy, that's a great stick, and he stays with the block.
Hey, that's 17 for 17.
All right.
Vontae Leach is a big reason why. That's impressive.
Your math is good, John.
First and goal. Schaub. Trouble. Toward Leach. It's incomplete. Jared Johnson applying the pressure.
Boy, that's a nice call by Gary Kubiak. But what defense by the Ravens. It's a similar play they just ran on short yardage. Leach is going to start up into the hole and then slide out to the flat. And Jarrett Johnson of the Ravens does an excellent job of containing Schaub, and DeJuan Landry was there for Leach. Good defense by the Baltimore Ravens.
Jarrett Johnson, an 8-year veteran, understands Leach started coming to his side. Something was up, so he went after the quarterback.
Second and goal. Foster to the right. In the open field by Ladarius Webb to take him down for a loss of a couple.
Well, that's a big-time play by Ladarius Webb. Only 182 pounds, and he's in the open field right here with Arian Foster. The only way you get him down is go low. Get him around the ankles. That's exactly what Webb does. Terrific play on the perimeter.
Third down here. Andre Johnson, the big receiver for Houston. Susie Colbert told us at halftime Andre had another pain-killing injection in that right ankle. It's become commonplace at halftime. See if he's targeted on 3rd and goal. Johnson crossing, shot, throws back in the end zone. Jones didn't hang on. It's another catchable ball that Houston doesn't reel in.
Well, it's killed him all year. I mean, Jacoby Jones has had a hard time catching the ball, and right here he just runs an inside release against his zone coverage. He sits down in the back of the end zone, and no one's there.
6th drop of the evening for the Texans. Well, a tight window, and Schaub threw it in there. They had a 3-man rush, 8 in the end zone, and Matt Schaub has got to be furious at his receiving corps right now.
And so is Gary Kubiak.
Fans are unhappy that they were going for the field goal. Rackers, who missed earlier from 52. Able to knock that through. 28-10. Houston's opening drive of the half, a field goal. Many of the buildings in downtown Houston illuminated in red for this Battle Red Day. It's what the Texans like to do once or twice a year, wear their red jerseys in the all red here tonight. Leading Baltimore 28-10, we welcome those of you who watched the Giants defeat the Vikings 21-3. We were 21-7 at half. The last kickoff by Rackers was taken back 103 yards by David Reed for a touchdown. This one doesn't get past the 22 as tackles made by Sherrick McManus. Baltimore's offense gets its first shot on the field in this half when you come back. That's right, Chris. Giants dominated that game. 213 rushing yards. Tavares Jackson starting for Favre, not good. Ray Rice a run, no gain on first down. Was 2nd and 10 coming up. Here's Susie Colbert on the sideline.
Well, for all the good Ravens, there still is an issue. It's that protection off the edge. John Harbaugh said the last Flacco sack was totally on him. He said Joe has to be able to sight adjust, but it says a lot about his quarterback that he's able to come right back and throw a touchdown. And Harbaugh called out his offense this week. He loves the changes up front with the offensive line. Says the right side is heavier, more physical. It's just what he wanted. And what a difference a week makes. Everybody's been patting offensive coordinator Cam Cameron on the butt, including Ed Reed.
Well, they got after the offense, no doubt about it, Susie. Publicly criticized by the defense. There's some pressure. Flacco is in the grasp, and control is ruled by Bill Levy. So kills the play there, and it's a sack. Darryl Sharpton, the rookie, brought the pressure off the right.
Well, when you have an 18-point lead, you're going to see a lot of blitzes. And here, number 51, Sharpton comes right off the edge for another easy sack. Ravens got to be very careful. They've got some holes in their pass protection, particularly with these perimeter blitzes. Be careful with the football with an 18-point lead in this field position.
John, they've given up 2 sacks on 2 bad pickups. One by Ray Rice earlier and LaRon McClain there. Your backs have to be able to block.
3rd and 19. Check down to Rice. 7 yards shy of the first down, and the Texans defense does exactly what it needs to do. 3 and out here out of the game.
That is a big stop by the Texans defense. That's got to give them a lift on that sideline. Offense gets back on the field after 3 plays. The Texans can go get some water, get a little air, get ready to go back out.
Get some stickum to catch the ball better.
I agree.
That's what they need.
Jacoby Jones, 2 punt returns, a touchdown in his career back in 08. They grab this one at 27. Reverse field. A very nice move to get to the near sideline. An even better play covering by Marcus Smith brings him down at the 35-yard line. So 49 on the kick. Halfway decent field position after a hard-working 9-yard return by Jacoby Jones, who dropped a touchdown in the end zone a moment ago. On the left used to be the 8th wonder of the world, the Houston Astrodome, now dwarfed in size by Reliance Stadium next door. See if the Tenants can hold the ball. Texans down 18. Deep drop shot. Road wide receiver Walter. Got a first down.
You know, these would drive me crazy when I coach with drop passes. I've seen a lot of them tonight. Arian Foster taking his eyes off the ball before he runs. Perfect throw down the middle to Owen Daniels. Another first down throw to the outside. Got to catch the football. Dreesen. And then Jacoby Jones for an easy touchdown. I'm not even going to try to read those lips. Catch the football. Got to be the common theme down the stretch for Houston.
I think he said drop balls.
Yep, sure did. Shot late on that one. Well read by Ed Reed, who has made a living of taking quarterbacks, understanding what they do, and jumping routes.
Oh, I love this. Watch this break by Ed Reed. He sees the outbreak back to the inside. Be careful showing the same route twice to that guy right there. He's not a student of the game. He's a professor of the game. Ed Reed is a ball hawk. 6-time Pro Bowler, 50 interceptions. He's looking for number 51 right now. Look at him.
Foster, penetration. He lost his footing as well. Tavares Gooden.
Boy, it just seemed like the Ravens defense knew exactly where that play was going. They loaded up to the right side of the Texans line. That's right where the ball went. And Schaub, for the most part, does an outstanding job. He audibles about half the time, and he gets his offense into good looks in the running game and the passing game. Critical down right now for the Texans.
Just keep an eye on Terrell Suggs, number 55. He's at the top of your screen.
Schaub over the middle, caught. Andre Johnson had the first down with forward progress, and they will mark him there at the 42. He didn't retreat to run. They're going to give him the 42 and a Houston first down.
Now, one thing about Matt Schaub, you give him time in the pocket, he will find Andre Johnson down the field. A really good, aware move by Andre Johnson, uncovering the coverage underneath was to the outside. He moved back to the inside, and Matt Schaub threw him open away from the coverage.
Into triple coverage. What a throw by Matt Schaub.
Foster cuts back, gains 3 yards. We're talking about Arian Foster, who will lead the NFL in rushing yards after tonight. Foster was on the practice squad last year. We were talking to him about this. He was watching a Monday night game, and we talked about last year a player who was activated from the practice squad. He went to work with a whole different mindset the next day. He didn't know, as a rookie, you could be activated from the practice squad and come on up to the active roster. That happened a year ago. Ran well at the end of the season and is just taken off this year. A pass is caught by David Anderson, a couple of yards shy of the first down. He was out there as Andre Johnson went off to the sideline with that right ankle pain, and he limps back on the field.
I'll tell you what, this guy, in spite of all of the injuries that he's gone through, for him to continue to push through it, it's awesome to see. Remember Willis Reed of the Knicks?
Yeah.
You probably remember that.
I remember that.
This guy reminds me of third down is short. This is a premier time to catch him in a single safety and take a shot.
Schaub has room to run. Flag down in the secondary as Schaub is hit on the sideline by Webb, and a second flag is thrown.
There is no foul for hitting the quarterback out of bounds. The tackler started inbound.
That was nice work by the officials, but we still have one back in between the hash marks at the 20-yard line.
Well, it's 2 deep man under, and you see the hit is legal. That's kind of like the one I saw last night Michael Vick take, Mike.
During the quarterback's run, holding, number 25, defense. 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
From Chris Card, Vick took a lot of shots last night from the Dallas defense.
And a tough guy, though, Michael Vick. He's been taking some shots, keeps getting up, making plays. There, Matt Schaub took a hard shot. This game, you got to have a warrior mentality to play at the quarterback position. You're going to get hit. There's going to be bumps and bruises. But availability is critical in the National Football League. Your quarterback's got to be out there. He's got to fight through those bumps and bruises and be in that huddle with his teammates.
Baltimore 1 drive, Houston 2. But the Ravens have scored 7 in this third quarter on the kickoff return by David Reed to start the half. Pressure up the middle from Kelly Gregg. Forced Schaub to get it out quick and incomplete toward Vontae Leach.
I'll tell you, it's hard to call plays against the Ravens. They have no tendencies whatsoever. They're playing 2 deep zone, 2 deep man under. Here comes blitz. But when it's all said and done, watch Terrell Suggs get off the football. He is breathing on the quarterback on every snap. I will be surprised if Terrell Suggs doesn't get there in the next few snaps.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. They're not having to bring a lot of blitz pressure. They're getting home with their 3- and 4-man rush. Makes it a lot easier in that secondary.
4 receivers, 1 back. 3 of them to the near side. And Andre Johnson's got it. At the 24-yard line. 3rd and 5 coming up.
You know, this defense, they will still blitz, but they still play some form of a 2 deep zone. Watch the blitz come at the bottom of your screen, but they're still going to play a soft 2 deep zone behind it. So they put your quarterback under duress and they ask the linebackers and the nickel defenders to rally and make these tackles, but the Ravens still have a very unorthodox blitz package, just like they had when Rex Ryan was here, Jaws.
A little more conservative than Rex's wild and crazy stuff. Greg Madison has calmed it down a little bit as a defensive coordinator.
Shot, end zone. Held on, out of bounds for Walter. His knee looked like it was very close to coming down inbounds. Let's take a peek at this on the replay. Live, I thought his knee had a shot at getting in. Catch. Oh, you just see right on the paint.
I say challenge that. Coach Kubiak, he's listening to his coaches. What do you see? What do you see?
Well, he's looking up at the scoreboard here at Reliance Stadium as well.
If he doesn't, he's got to throw it.
Well, the play clock has run down to 3, so they've run out of choices at this point.
His knee's down
One
and
foot.
inbounds. Give it to him.
No, it's not. That knee's on the paint. It's not down
Check
at
that
all.
left toe, Mike.
No, he's got to have the other foot down. It's not down at all. He's out of bounds. It's incomplete.
John's trying. He's just pulling for that touchdown.
Oh, they'll go for the challenge here. Timeout. Well, Gary Kubiak challenged, trying to get that touchdown with Kevin Walter in the left corner of the end zone. 28-10. Bill Levy had a look over there in replay.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver's left knee hit out of bounds. Houston will be charged their first time out.
And they'll go for a field goal here, trying to make it a 15-point game. Again, one knee does equal 2 feet. That was John Madden's book title. And that's the rule that we all know about and have heard about for many years. See, his left foot will come down, and then the next body part down is that left knee before the right knee comes down. The left knee came down on the paint before the right knee touches. Right there. No touchdown. Neil Rackers from 42 has got a great scheme of consecutive field goals inside of 45. Knocks through another one to make it a 15-point game. Houston Texans have closed very strong the last 3 years. 3-1, 3-1, 4-0 in the last quarter of the season. They've put themselves there with a very bad first 3 quarters of the season. Oh.
Hey, look what we got there. Mike Tirico, happy birthday.
Yeah, terrific. Great.
Wow.
We move on to something important,
Man,
please.
Monday Night Football, Mike Tirico. Doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, great, huh?
Happy birthday, Mike. We love you, man. You're the best.
Oh,
the best.
man, 40 years old?
I'm younger than you.
Not after this year.
From a yard. It's Reed. Devontae Leach tackles him. 25-yard line.
You know, for putting up with me and Jaws all year, we had to get you a gift.
Oh, great. I know you like these.
I don't know how old you are,
yeah.
but, you know, this isn't Devontae Leach's jersey.
Oh, it is. That's good.
Hey,
Can I go to the beach?
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
You're unbelievable.
Happy birthday, man. You're the best.
I went to Syracuse, and 44 was the great number at Syracuse, so that's why you got it for me, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Happy birthday,
Thank
man.
you, brother. Thank you very much.
Hope you like it.
Hope it fits.
Here, guys, are 2 kinds from the 27. Ravens. 4th play of this second half, and Ray Rice with a carry for about 5.
You know, the Ravens have their own Pro Bowl fullback. Speaking of Monte Leach, that time LaRon McClain really escorted Ray Rice between the tackles. To run the ball, I still think you need a fullback in key situations. This guy's a good one.
Yeah, I was talking to Wilbur Montgomery, my old teammate, who's the running back coach with the Ravens, and he loves all 3 of these all-pro backs he has to work with.
Off to the 4th quarter in Houston. Ravens by 15. 3 games left for everyone after tonight. You see the division leaders, the Patriots, the Steelers, as they were passed by the Ravens. Kansas City and Jacksonville, those division champs will be a 3 and a 4 seed. The wild card teams are the 5 and the 6. If the Ravens win tonight, they'll be tied with the Jets. And remember, on Monday night, #1 of the season, Baltimore won at the New Meadowlands, so the Ravens would jump to the 5 seed. Chargers, Colts, and Dolphins all at 7 and 6. Pulling for John Harbaugh's team to blow this lead and get within 1 game of that last wild card spot. But they're up 15 as we start the 4th.
Dante Stallworth, the speed receiver, getting more opportunities now. Holding on the sideline.
31. Blitz was picked up, and Flacco throws incomplete. As he was going down the middle, Moby Okoye with the pressure, and we have a flag on the far side.
Glover Quinn was tied up with Dante Stallworth. May get a hold.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 29 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, he called it. You could see it from up here. Glover Quinn clearly hooks and grabs Stallworth.
Well, John, this is what we're talking about with the Ravens. They've lost 4 games where they've led in the 4th quarter. They've blown a 4th quarter lead 7 of their 12 games this year. So the ability to finish is something John Harbaugh's team has to concentrate on the final quarter of the season.
One of the things that will help them finish is if this offense can grind out a few first downs.
That's the first one they picked up here in this half. Rice the carry for a couple of yards. Harbaugh also told us last night, after the disappointment to Pittsburgh, 11 needs to be our number. We need to get to 11 wins here on the season. That would be winning 3 of these last 4.
Yeah, their goal was that #2 seed in the AFC, a bye week, get your team rested. And that loss to the Steelers last week really hurt them. So he knew how critical this game was tonight. You know, they have New Orleans coming into Baltimore next week. They know that's going to be a tough matchup. This game was critical for them tonight. So far, they've handled it very well.
And they close to the Ohio teams at Cleveland and Cincinnati to finish. Flacco throws. It's broken up at the last second. Troy Nolan, mistake earlier, comes up with a good play there.
That's it's interesting because Anquan Boldin's out there, and that ball was in the air, and he kind of waited for the ball to come to his body rather than work back. You'll see Boldin here work against Glover. Just comes around. Now settle that hole. Now work back to the quarterback. When you see a defensive back like Nolan come over the top, that means a wide receiver has stopped his feet and allowing the defender to close.
And Mario Williams has just checked back into the game. The premier pass rusher for the Houston Texans. Does he have enough juice left in the tank to deliver a big play?
Playing with a painful sports hernia. Flacco underneath Ray Rice for the first down. Into Houston territory at the 43.
This Ray Rice can kill you. Comes right out of the backfield. A little shoot route right here. This is a nice throw by Flacco. That's a mismatch. You get Ray Rice one-on-one with Kevin Bentley. That's stealing, Ron.
Yeah, you think back historically, Ray Rice against the Steelers, getting matched against their linebackers on critical 3rd down plays. Ray Rice is just too quick, too fast for Kevin Bentley.
And we mentioned Williams just trying to give them any key snaps like a pass rush snap. He's right back on the bench. Rice. Shy of the 40.
You know, Mike, as we talk about the evolution of Joe Flacco, what's he got to do better? What I'm seeing tonight is Joe having a little more command at the line of scrimmage in the pre-snap phase, getting into the right run look, getting into the protection looks. Now, they've had some mistakes, but it looks to me like Joe's doing more at the line of scrimmage than I've seen in the past.
They just brought in their big guys. Chris Chester at tight end. You see him on the left. 2 big backs. Now it's McClain and McGahee. They're going to slam this ball right at the Texans.
Play action. Pressure, and Flacco is brought down. Penalty marker came down as Cushing came in. Penalty marker thrown at the line of scrimmage on the near side.
Well, that formation, John, will certainly give the illusion of run when you load it up like that. But play action.
Formation, number 85, covered number 65. Penalties decline, 3rd down.
The play action can be very effective if you block. Once again, LaRon McClain struggling with his pickup.
John, you talked about the guys who came in. And Mason was covering up Chester on the end. So when all these guys report eligible, you've got to make sure you line up properly.
Absolutely. What a huge play this is right now for the Texan defense.
To the 33 for a first down. Movement was the movement by Orr caused by Antonio Smith and Tim Jamison.
Looked to me like Smith moved.
Neutral zone infraction, number 94 defense.
You know what you teach?
They're down.
You know what you teach your offensive linemen to do? Whenever a defensive lineman jumps into the neutral zone, you teach your offensive lineman to move yourself. And you'll get that call every time. That's a nice job by the Raven offensive line, seeing the Texans jump into the neutral zone and getting that 5-yard penalty.
I'm not so sure it happens every time, but a high percentage.
Third 13's not easy, or 12 not easy, but it's much more makeable. Pressure by Pollard. Flacco got away from that. Got away from Jamison. Got it on the side. It was caught by Ed Dixon, the rookie out of Oregon. Got it to the 38, and a field goal from here would be 55 yards, and they'll just punt it with Sam Cook, who John told you before, so good at pinning him deep.
Once again, the pressure with these blitzes on Flacco. You see it coming to his right side. Boy, you see Jamison to his left, but it was the right side where the pressure forced him to get out. You see Pollard coming clean once again. An unblocked defender clean at the quarterback is just unacceptable. It can't happen.
It's another missed tackle, costly. Got to make these tackles.
A knuckling punt. Down by Kerry Williams at the 1. 99 yards, down 15 for Houston. Third time Cooks pinned him back inside the 20. Back at Reliance Stadium with Susie Colbert, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Mike Tirico. It's 28-13 Baltimore. Another long field. How about 3 touchbacks tonight and some terrific punting from Sam Cook?
Give him a game ball.
He made it a long field over and over for Matt Schaub and company. 99 yards to go.
Yeah, some props to Jerry Rosberg, the special teams coach for the Ravens.
Play action with Foster. Schaub from his end zone. Caught by the tight end Daniels to the 23. It's 22 to start the drive.
Beautiful play action designed by the Texans. And Andre Johnson draws a crowd right here, clearing out the deep zone. Take a look at Andre. He's going to clear it out. They're going to throw the ball right in behind him to Owen Daniels off hard play action. But that is an excellent job by Andre, taking a double for his teammate Owen Daniels.
Boy, that's right. 3-way vertical stretch. Had Arian Foster in the flat just opened up a nice void for Owen Daniels.
Pocket collapsing, Schaub escaping, and throwing downfield for Johnson. Deflected away as step for step, Ladarius Webb went up in the air with Johnson.
You know, whenever Shaw breaks the pocket, boy, he just has his eyes looking for Andre Johnson. They have a special chemistry, and you know, Andre Johnson, big and strong as he is, he always got a pretty good chance by just throwing it up. Well, you'll see outstanding coverage here by Ladarius Webb at the end of that play, just hanging with Johnson, fighting him at the top of the jump to knock that ball away.
Johnson to the bench, 2nd and 10. Kobe Jones. David Anderson trying to block for him. Got about 8 of it. It'll be 3rd and 2. Chris Carr the tackles. We get to the 10-minute mark here in the 4th.
I think, excuse me, Charles, I think right here, as soon as Houston gets 1 first down, they've got to jump into that 2-minute offense quickly here. As we're inside of 10 minutes, they're down 15.
Already time to go?
I think so. I think it's one of the things Matt Schaub does the best is hurry up offense. The Texans have had some of the most sensational, furious finishes. Their 2-minute offense is strong.
Schaub, 3rd down throw. Caught David Anderson. Off the tackle of Webb. First down across the 40-yard line. Well, they've been behind, so they've had to come back in the second half, so they've thrown a lot, and they are a very good second half offense.
Well, you can't dispute that. I mean, that's a lot of yardage And let's be honest, they had the Jets, Mike. They came from behind and had that game. They had the Jaguars. If they could get a score here, they're right back in this one.
Foster makes a run in here, and there goes Arian Foster. 17 yards into the secondary to the 43-yard line.
Now they're getting him going. Now Schaub's getting him up to the line. Pick up the tempo.
You're darn right. Just a draw play. Arian Foster splits it. Nice job by the Texans on the second level. David Anderson gets a great block in the slot. Off they go again.
Schaub just getting rid of it. Threw it toward Foster through the hands of Kelly Gregg. Now you see why Kelly Gregg's a nose tackle over there on the sideline.
And these Baltimore Raven defenders are exhausted. Schaub is throwing the ball repeatedly. Look at Jarrett Johnson. Just look at these guys for the Ravens. They're exhausted. They're in a full substitution mode now. You see Kruger out there. Obviously, you see number 91, Brandon McKinney.
But isn't that all the more reason to go no huddle?
I love it.
Yep.
Three-man rush.
Second and 10. Schaub escapes and throws incomplete. Tried to get it to Owen Daniels. Couldn't get enough behind it as he was being flushed.
Here comes Redding and Suggs back in the game, and that's one of the reasons why you call some of these three-man rushes. Your guys are tired.
Yeah, they're not exactly sprinting onto the field right now. You see Redding there kind of just loafing out there, trying to suck as much air as he can.
3rd and 10 at the plus 43. The Ravens 43 with 8.5 to go. 4-down territory?
I think so. Unfortunately for the Texans, Andre Johnson's back in the game. He's isolated at the top of the screen.
A rush 4. Schaub underneath. Caught by Foster. Good hustle by Foster. He's going to make it a makeable 4th down. Tavares good in the tackle. And they'll huddle here with 8:12 to go.
Well, what a great effort by Arian Foster. He's lucky he didn't get hammered right here by the Ravens. He does a fine job of catching the ball and immediately getting north and south. Chris Carr was standing there waiting for the knockout shot.
Yeah, and Arian Foster, also an outstanding receiver out of the backfield, leading NFL running backs in receptions with 18 on 3rd down. They had a big one there, but a little bit short of the 1st down.
Call was coming in. Schaub couldn't get it. The fans are going, but there was a communication problem. They couldn't get the play in. They have to take a timeout here, leaving them with just one. Crucial play, 4th down coming up. Houston had to take the timeout because Matt Schaub was having trouble hearing coming in. The play as 4th down was called, was going to step in and do it himself. As I can't hear, so he forced to take timeout. This is a critical stage for this Houston team. Gary Kubiak's been their head coach in his 5th season. They haven't been to the playoffs. He's the longest tenured coach without a playoff appearance. His team's lost 5 of its last 6. Desperate here at 5-7, trying to save their slim playoff hopes and avoid another disappointing season.
They're going to throw it right here, obviously, with Leach on the sidelines.
4th and 2. Schaub's throw is caught by Johnson for the 1st down at the 23-yard line.
Absolute laser from Matt Schaub. There was press on Andre Johnson, the outside, safety over the top, and you talk about a tight throw. Watch this ball come out of the hand of Matt Schaub. Wow.
Right back at it, Schaub. Anderson got 1 foot down only, incomplete. And he took a shot. He's slow to get up off the sideline.
Well, Andre Johnson, what a great catch he just made. And that time he runs an under route. They double him, and they don't cover David Anderson over the top.
David Anderson still shaking up over there. He was trying to get himself off the field, but he couldn't. Timeout called, so the training staff can come get him. Halfway through the quarter, Houston driving, trying to make it a 1-score game. From Houston, tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. 7:22, 1 timeout left for the Texans, down 15. David Anderson helped off the field. His drive started at the 1. Trying to go 99 yards. Job. Drawing it with Foster. First down to 12. Ray Lewis, Jared Johnson tackle.
I love it. That is one way to beat a three-man rush. The Ravens are fanning the field with 8 defenders, and they're just going to hand the ball off to Foster on a draw play. Gutty call, but a great call right there against that very soft Ravens zone defense down here in the red zone.
Yeah, and Ray Lewis, a non-factor, about 12 yards deep on the play, playing pass.
Arian Foster, exactly 100 yards. Rare against the Ravens. Shaw, pressure, got rid of it, incomplete. Ravens want intentional grounding, saying there's no receiver in the area. He's in the tackle box. They should talk about this.
Well, he got hit. Well, only a 3-man rush. You get that kind of pressure. You got to do a better job up front. You'll see the pressure right up the middle. Haloti not on Chris Myers.
That's grounded. He's in the tackle box. There's no receiver over there, right? He threw it before he got hit.
Yeah.
Well, we have a conference here. They're gonna solve it.
That's with a sarcasm there, John.
There was a receiver in the area.
Well, yeah, in the state. I mean, really? There's nobody in the area. There's nobody within 8 yards of the ball. Oh, well, second and 10.
There you go, Mike.
Jeez. Against the 3-man rush, Shaw. It is held onto by Walter inside the 7.
Well, Shaw doing a real nice job on this drive. You know, he's 6 of 10, 61 yards, or 6 of 11 now. He's moving the team.
There is just not a lot of place to throw the football. There are 3 Ravens rushing and 8 of them in coverage.
They can get a first down at the 2. In traffic for Johnson with Landry and Lewis. Reed all hanging out there. They'll go for it on 4th down.
Boy, this is trying to squeeze it in. Really dropping a lot of defenders. The Ravens are back in here. You'll see Schaub set up only a 3-man rush. Not many big windows to squeeze it into, and almost picked off by Landry. In fact, probably should have been picked off.
Well, Schaub's got to step up and at least be a threat to run and try to get some of these Ravens to get out of the end zone.
Need to get at least 5. They prefer 7. Schaub. Touchdown, Jacoby Jones.
Well, you got to love Matt Schaub. After Jacoby Jones dropped one in the first half, he rifles this one over. This drive, Matt Schaub was playing like a man possessed. And he was stroking this ball. He was throwing BBs.
It's another furious finish by these Houston Texans. Take a look at Matt Schaub. Everybody's jumping Andre Johnson underneath. And again, he pumps the ball to the outside, this time on a dime. Beautiful throwing catch.
Packers adds the extra point. First 99-yard touchdown drive the Texans have ever had. Just the 2nd in the league this year. And it makes it a 1-score game with 6 minutes left in Houston. Getting ready for Christmas Day on ABC. Thank you, Stuart. Just mentioned the first 99-yard drive in Texans history. The Ravens gave one up last year to San Diego. And now it is an 8-point game with 6 minutes left.
Well, Baltimore's had only 10 offensive play this half. Houston, 39. This has been dominated except for the return for the touchdown by the Ravens. Houston's dominated play.
David Reed had that 103-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to start the 3rd quarter. He's got this one a couple of yards deep. Reed, 20. You finally get him on his back at the 25-yard line. Big drive there, John.
Well, earlier in the drive, take a look at it. Andre Johnson's going to get doubled right here, and they miss David Anderson over the top. When you have a great receiver, they're going to double him and force you to throw the ball someplace else. And then for the touchdown, take a look at Andre Johnson. Get doubled, and then you're going to see Jacoby Jones win over the top. But Andre Johnson was taken away by the Ravens, and somebody else stepped up.
Houston's defense. Can they do it? From the 25, they'll throw on first down, and Flacco completes to Mason to the 37.
Well, we've been talking about it all night long. You get those tight formations. You're going to get the one-on-one isolation route on the outside. Joe Flacco loves these routes. He'll go play action. You'll see the one-on-one with Kareem Jackson. Great anticipation by Flacco and an accurate throw.
And they picked up the safety blitz that time.
Texans show pressure. Flacco adjusts at the line. Rice pushing. Loss of a yard.
You look out there for these Houston Texans. And on the sideline, Mario Williams, Amobi Okoye. But watch Brian Cushing stuff this play. He's going to blitz right through that B gap, keep playing, fight across the formation, and make the tackle. I credit these Houston Texans for playing hard, especially without a couple of their key guys on defense, Ron.
Cushing's had a couple of mistakes, but he's also been involved, as you see the numbers there. Flacco, 2nd and 11. Pressure comes. Gets rid of it. Caught by Bolden. Anquan.
Well, once again, it's like a broken record. They're going to go with these tight, close formations. One wide receiver out. You got Anquan Bolden man-to-man against Glover Quinn with no help. You'll see Glover jamming him, being physical with him, but Bolden just too big, too strong, and Flacco with these isolation routes. This is what Joe lives for.
Who throws those, though?
Man.
With the game on the line, I can hardly breathe when that ball's in the air. What a throw by Joe Flacco.
On the 48, up the middle, Rice. Into Texans territory at the 48. Remember, Houston lost a timeout on a challenge, lost a timeout on 4th down, so they're not going to be able to really play the clock game and extend it here on defense.
You know, you think of that game last week against Pittsburgh. Everyone was down on this Ravens offense. And, hey, they lost the game for the Ravens. So they've got a chance to take their defense off the hook right now because their defense allowed the Texans to go 99 yards. Now the offense in their 4-minute offense, they can win the game for the Ravens.
There'll be another blitz. That's all Houston's doing.
2nd and 6. Rice right. 3rd and a couple coming. Timeout here. Yep. So you take the timeout here at 2:58. Preserve some time this side of the 2-minute warning. Ravens are a couple of first downs from winning this game. On the right, Gary Kubiak and the Texans, their season essentially comes down to a stop or two here. John Harbaugh and the Ravens were here a week ago trying to close out the game against Pittsburgh, and they could not. They had the crucial mistake. The Polamalu forced fumble. The Steelers went down, scored a touchdown, and have put Ray Lewis, Ed Reed and company in the chasing mode here for the final 4 games.
And the Ravens are going to spread them out, and I think they're going to throw the ball against bump and run coverage again. Don't be surprised if it's Mason at the top of the screen.
Or it could be one of those double move goes, John.
3rd and 2. Flacco throws incomplete. It was broken up by Glover Quinn. So on 3rd and 2, the Ravens choose not to run it. They save time for the Texans and don't pick it up.
Well, that's Glover Quinn. He got beat a second ago, but this time he jumps right in Anquan Bolden's face, plays outside technique, does a nice job with his hands, and an excellent play with his left hand, and the Texans have a chance.
What a play by Glover Quinn.
Glover took over.
You could have waited all night for that.
Cook's been outstanding, burying the Texans inside the 10 tonight. Kobe Jones going to catch it with room to run. Flag down, Jones down, 15-yard line.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 25 receiving team at the distance to the goal, first down.
Rookie Kareem Jackson flag there. It just interesting, guys, for all the conversation the Ravens had about the offense and the decision-making last week of run the clock, run the time. And I know what you guys are saying, how good they've been throwing the ball. They chose not to there, and they've left 40 extra seconds for a team that doesn't have any timeouts.
If you're a great defense and you think you're a Super Bowl contender, you run your defense on the field like the Ravens did, and you close this game out. We'll find out if they're for real right here.
Houston has scored the last 4 possessions. All 3 this half, the one at the end of the first half. Schaub from his own end zone has to get out of there and throws complete to Kevin Walter to the 21-yard line. And here they go.
Well, that's the big one. You know, when you start about these 2-minute drills, the first play is always the most critical. And they got out of their end zone.
Schaub, who is hot. Out of the tackle box, gets rid of it. No grounding problem there.
Well, you've got no timeouts. You do have the 2-minute clock stoppage. But the Ravens look out of gas. Their pass rush struggling to get there. They've used a 4-man rush the last couple snaps. The Texans need to get a first down, Jaws, and don't be surprised if they run the football against these 2 deep defenses just like they did in the last series.
Shaw has his caught by Foster at the 25. It'll take us to the 2-minute warning. The 3rd and about 6 coming up. Matt Schaub throwing 52 passes tonight. Does he have a winner still left in him? Well, it's a season of disappointment in general for the Texans, and specifically the close calls. Week 10, Glover Quinn just had to knock it down. He knocked it, but into the waiting arms of Mike Thomas. Jacksonville won. They're in first place. The very next week, the Texans rally against the Jets, take a lead. Mark Sanchez comes down the field, and Quinn is the one chasing Santonio Holmes on the game-winning touchdown, 30-27. It's been last-minute come-from-behind wins by the opponent. Now can the Texans pull off some of that magic to force overtime?
And the Ravens have to be very careful. People are saying, why don't you blitz? Why don't you blitz? Well, number 80 is a big reason why you don't want to blitz. The Ravens have got to get a rush, and hopefully this clock stoppage has helped Terrell Suggs. He's the one guy that can give it to him.
And you were talking about how tired this Raven team looks in the timeout. They faced 42 plays in this half. It's 3rd and 6. Pressure. Webb hits Schaub, who throws to Jones. Got past 1 man. Now we're going to have 4th and a yard. Rookie Nakamura was out there. Forced him wide. Ray Lewis made the tackle, and here we go. Game on the line here.
And the Ravens did come with pressure on 3rd down. Let's see what they do on 4th.
Schaub hit all 3 of his 4th down passes. Raven timeout. Baltimore timeout.
Ravens having a hard time getting 11 on the field there.
This Raven team, on their end of it, they've lost a couple of games this season by blowing leads in the 4th quarter. As mentioned before, they're the only team to lose multiple games this year, and they led by at least 7 in the 4th quarter. And on the flip side, the Texans had those 2 comebacks early on in the season, down 10-plus points in the 4th quarter. So teams have been in these situations before.
And the Ravens have given up 90 points in the 4th quarter. You compare that to what they've given up in the 3rd quarter of 15. They have struggled in the 4th quarter this season.
And the Ravens are going to be alert for the quarterback sneak right here in this situation. I can hear him talking about it from here.
Now they got Haloti Ngata right on the nose of Chris Myers.
Game on the line, 4th and 1. Schaub throwing for it, getting it. Jacoby Jones also got out of bounds at the 37.
Well, I'll tell you, we're seeing some gutsy throws by the quarterbacks tonight. Flacco for the Ravens, and Schaub once again. Tight coverage, tight window, game on the line. He squeezes it in.
1.5 minutes left with no timeouts.
I think the Ravens are going to stay with their 3-man rush. Remember, they have to get a touchdown. So the Ravens are going to be very cautious with their defense.
Schaub, past 55 of the night is caught by Johnson. Thrown out of bounds. Stopping the clock at the 43.
Everything the Texans are running right now offensively are designed to beat cover 2. That time, Andre Johnson releases inside, pushes right up the numbers, and breaks to the outside. On top of that, 2-deep corner right there, Ladarius Webb, who's got to get depth. You can't give up a 20-yard gain in a clock stoppage.
Most passes by a Texan quarterback tonight. Schaub has thrown 55. David Carr threw 54. Minute 26 left. Schaub underneath. Johnson, 8 yards. Clock will run.
Plenty of time, no reason to kill it. And Matt Schaub has the Ravens totally off balance, and there's just no pass rush whatsoever.
6 left. Schaub escaping, running for it, getting out of bounds with a first down. 27-yard line, 60 seconds to go.
And Jared Johnson just has no gas left in the tank. Schaub easily outran him to the perimeter. No pass rush pressure whatsoever. You'll see Schaub move to his right. Here comes Jared Johnson. Nothing left. He can't get to Schaub, and he turns it up the field for the first down. Right now, this Ravens defense just looks whipped right now.
I think you have to consider taking a timeout if you're John Harbaugh to let your defense get some energy.
Great point, because you don't need them. If you get the ball back, the game's over. Schaub, Foster leaking out of the backfield for the sideline. What a great cut by Foster. What a play. First down and out of bounds.
What a great job by Arian Foster making some of these tired Raven defenders miss and getting the first down and also stopping the clock. Look at this play by Arian Foster on a check down. He knows exactly where he has to get, but he splits 2 defenders to get there. Great job by the young back.
In the red zone, 52 seconds left. Texans need a touchdown and a 2 to tie. Schaub can't get a rush. Johnson brings it in. 10. Johnson, first down, first and goal. Clock will spin with 40 seconds. Schaub wants to kill the clock here.
Plenty of time. Make sure everybody's set.
Showing a kill, and he will kill it because we're down to 3 plays with 29 seconds left.
This Andre Johnson. What a gut check. Matt Schaub, Gary Kubiak. They just came down the field on a 99-yard drive, but here's a nice catch again by Andre Johnson with one hand, but watch him explode after he catches this ball. That's a linebacker. I'll stiff arm you, and I'll run right over you to get the first down. 230 pounds of man-child right there, Jaws.
3 shots from the 5. Schaub flush, gets away from the sack, throws back in the end zone. Johnson got it! Touchdown! Jones thought it was his. Johnson got both feet in before the hand came down. They have not gone for a 2-point conversion this year. They are 0 for 0. On average, 46% in the NFL this year, 2-point conversions. Texans for the tie. Schaub. Waiting for somebody to come open. Jones got it! Tie game! just went 99 and 95 yards on the Ravens. They've scored on their last 5 possessions, and the game is tied at 28.
I told you, all they had to do was catch the ball. Watch Andre Johnson. He's going to start the end line and then come back where he came from. But Jacoby Jones is going to intercept this ball. This is intended for Andre Johnson the whole way. And Jacoby Jones says, I'm going to redeem myself. What a play by Jacoby Jones.
Well, how about Matt Schaub just working, staying alive, in bounds. Schaub looking, finding a receiver. No pass rush whatsoever from the Ravens. They tie it up. What a throw, what a drive, back-to-back long drives. Matt Schaub caught fire.
You know, you put that graphic up, Mike, to start the second half that the Texans had 220 yards average in the second half. I think they have about 320 tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do at halftime. I don't know what Gary Kubiak says or does. But this quarterback, Matt Schaub, when they get it right, they are almost unstoppable. But it's Arian Foster, and it's a bevy of different receivers. And Andre Johnson is a superstar.
A couple of things here. Reed took the kickoff back to start the second half, 103 yards. He's got this one at the 1. David Reed, shy of the 30. They're pulling at the ball, too, trying to get it out. Reed hangs on. Now, Houston has come back here 3 different times already this year. They've been down 14 and come back even or taking a lead. And Jacoby Jones on the 2 does just that. But they have come back 3 times, and then they've lost the game. In the last 4 weeks, the Jaguars, the Jets, the Eagles, they came back, took the lead, and then blew the game. In NFL history, the Jets in 1980, the only team to do such.
And if this game goes to overtime, I hope they have a lot of refreshments on that Ravens sideline, because that defense of the Baltimore Ravens is gassed, Jaws.
You know, you may look back to that 3rd down play where the Ravens threw it rather than run it. Cost them 40 seconds.
Thank you. They'll run with Rice. Tackled from behind. No timeout taken. We're going to overtime. The Baltimore Ravens, once in their history, have blown a 21-point lead. And after the first play of the 3rd quarter, the 103-yard kickoff return by Reed, they had their second 21-point lead of the game, 28-7. You go back to the early Ravens days against the Steelers in '97 at Baltimore. They were up 21, blew the lead, and lost the game 42-34.
Corey Redding is walking out here for this coin toss. There's Terrell Suggs. They've thrown 60 passes. And Gary Kubiak has got these Texans right now on the brink.
Up to 15-minute overtime.
Of one of the greatest comebacks in Houston Texan history, Ron.
If either team scores, the game will
I'm
be
tired
recorded.
talking about it.
Players unbelievable.
Will be in effect. Each team is given 2 timeouts, and all replays will be from the replay booth. Any questions? All right. Baltimore, you're the visitors. That's tails. That's heads. What's the call? Tails. Tails is the call. And it is tails. You want the ball. What goal do you want to defend? Okay. Baltimore is going to receive at this end. Good luck.
Houston's only won 1 game in overtime in franchise history. It was against Washington earlier this year. See if Flacco and the Ravens can come back. Scott and John standing by. Stuart Scott, Matt Millen, Steve Young here for the postgame overtime at Reliance Stadium in Houston. The Texans rally from down 21 with a 301-yard second half to force overtime.
Well, fortunately for the Ravens, they are getting the ball back, because I believe if their defense had to go on the field, they had no shot of stopping the Texans. I think they're going to have to be very aggressive with the ball here when they get it. They just can't allow their defense back on the field. There's nothing left.
And Billy Cundiff, the long-range kickoff man of the Baltimore Ravens, will be getting loose on the sideline.
Parker sends it away to David Reed. This is 5 yards deep. He'll take a knee.
Oh, before that 2-minute drill, Mike, remember the Ravens had 3rd and 2. Flacco decided to throw the ball. A lot of us thought they were going to run the ball, run clock, and try to get out of town. That's why when you're an offensive coordinator and you make those calls, that's why you earn the big bucks, Jaws.
And that was with at 2:54 left. And then the clock stoppage at 2:42 after the punt. That's 40 seconds difference. Houston, without timeouts, came down the field and able to do it.
And this is a chance for the Raven offense to redeem themselves from last week. We talked all week about it, Ron. They need to win the football game for this Raven outfit.
They're in there once again with their heavy personnel.
Pressure again. They've been blitzing a lot. Pushing up the middle. Has Flacco. And Flacco found Mason somehow. What a play by Flacco. A gain of 5.
That was an incredible play by Joe Flacco. That's what 6'6", 240 pounds can do for you. Defenders draping all over your body and able to muscle the football out. Look at the formation here. A lot of big bodies in front. Play action pushing right up the middle. Look at Flacco. That's a remarkable play.
That's one of the great throws I have ever seen. The Texans continue to pound away with blitzes.
Second and 4. Rice with a toss. Great penetration by the safety, Bernard Pollard. Man, Houston's being so aggressive on defense. Second half and overtime.
It's at least the 5th or 6th time Bernard Pollard has rocketed off the corner, and they're lucky that wasn't a fumble. When you don't account for a strong safety blitz, that's when a lot of bad things happen, and the Texans are rocking the Ravens with blitzes, Ron.
16 overtime games this year. Only once has the team that won the toss scored on that very first drive. The Jets at Detroit earlier this year. 3rd and 5. Flacco caught by Bolden at the 40. First down in front of Glover Quinn.
Well, that time Flacco had more time in the pocket. Allowed Anquan Bolden to work up the field against Glover Quinn. It was a deeper drop, a deeper route, and the time for the pocket was critical in this situation. Nice anticipation by Flacco against the man coverage.
Good blitz pickup by center Matt Burke.
Out of Harvard, 13 years doing it.
And it's been single safety man-to-man the last 6 snaps from this Texan defense. There it is again.
Flacco, Pollard jumped it, incomplete. Pollard is taking up residence in Flacco's face.
I think they had a run called right there, and Joe Flacco felt the blitz and tried to throw one of those one-step slants, but it's another safety blitz, and Pollard is unblocked.
They are just bringing the heat with Pollard off the edge all night long.
You almost sense a combustible moment. Either the Texans are going to come up with a big play to win the game, or the Ravens are going to beat all this pressure and take one home. Flacco loading. Incomplete. Miscommunication. Ian Mason not on the same page. 3rd and 10.
Well, this is where the Texans have struggled the most. 3rd down pass defense, and especially in long yardage situations. I expect the Texans to gear up another blitz. That's what's got them back in this football game, Ron. Pressure and forcing Flacco to throw the ball before he can set his feet.
All of Houston and half the AFC pulling for the Texans defense. Like to see the Ravens come back to the pack a little bit. 3rd and 10. Again, Flacco flush. This time he's sacked. Mark Anderson. Former Bear.
Mike, they cover the center with the linebacker. They create 5 one-on-one blocks, and they stunt the defensive line. And Mark Anderson still showcases his ability to rush the passer, Frank Bush deserves a lot of credit, dialing up repeated pressure to get these Texans back in the football game.
Season high 5 sacks. Sam Cook to kick. Rocket shot. 57 yards. Jacoby Jones for the 13. Makes one man miss. Haruki Nakamura chased him down back at the 8-yard line.
Well, Schaub, that last Texans drive to tie it up, this was a remarkable drive. Matt Schaub just made play after play after play. Terrific throws, extending the play, finding open receivers. And with their season on the line, he hits the touchdown pass, but that's not enough. He needs a 2-point conversion, and he finds Jacoby Jones in the back of the end zone. May have been looking for Andre Johnson, but Jacoby Jones made the catch. Now you got Matt Schaub back on the field, trying to win this one for the Texans.
And Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, from the Baltimore defense has just given up drives of 99 and 95 yards. Schaub from his own 9 in trouble. Has to get rid of it. Be very careful because any grounding in the end zone or a hold back there would be a safety and game over.
And that's at least the 5th or 6th throwaway for Matt Schaub tonight. And I agree with you. It's a good thing that the Ravens got the ball first because they needed to rest this defense.
Well, this crowd quieted down real quick when Schaub almost got in trouble there in the end zone. But they're back into it.
On big pressure. Schaub was intercepted. Game-winning touchdown, Baltimore. Josh Wilson. The rare walk-off game-winning interception for touchdown thrown by Matt Schaub on his 62nd pass of the night.
It's all about the pass rush.
Absolutely, John. That time, Schaub didn't have the quick receiver open. He had to move, buy a little time, threw a little bit off balance, and paid the price.
Josh Wilson comes up with the game winner, a 12-yard return.
Well, take a look at the pressure. Jacoby Jones is going to come inside and then come back outside. Schaub doesn't see much here, guys. He's going to drop back to pass and immediately be under pressure right up the middle from Haloti Ngata, and he doesn't even see Josh Wilson. And that's a credit. But once again, Haloti Ngata saying Ngata tonight. That's it for the Ravens. What a play.
Josh Wilson, who came here from Seattle, traded before the season started, is the hero, and the former Maryland Terrapin standing by with Susie Colbert.
Josh, what did you see on that play?
The ball in the end zone. That's all I saw. You know, I just want to thank God that had the opportunity to put me in a position to make the play, and we're going home victorious. Couldn't win any other way.
In such a critical ball game, what was this like for the defense?
Oh, man, it's strange, and some more. You know, and for the defense to come up with a play like that to end it, oh, man, it feels a great feeling.
For the defense to give up such big drives at the end, to let Houston back in the game, then what does this mean?
A win. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, no matter how you got there, that you keep winning, and that's what we did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Suze, it is a record-breaking 4th time that the Texans have been down 14, come back, tied the game or took the lead, and then ended up losing the game. NFL record for them in that regard. Houston has seen this story before. And what the win means for the Ravens, they are now 9-4. And because they have the head-to-head win over the Jets Monday Night Football Week 1, they would be the 5 seed, the Jets the 6 if they end up tied for the wild card. They remain a game behind the Pittsburgh Steelers with 3 to go. And Baltimore has New Orleans at home next week, followed by visits to Cleveland and Cincinnati. The Steelers close with the Jets, Panthers, and at Cleveland to end the season. The Chargers, Colts, Dolphins, all those 7-6 teams hoping to get the bottom of the wild card a little bit closer. They threw their remote at the TV when Josh Wilson went in. First overtime pick 6 to win a game since Charles Tillman, Peanut, of the Bears did it in 2005. Our final score, Baltimore 34, Houston 28. Anything happened in the NFL today? SportsCenter is going to have it coming up in a minute. With John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, all the great women and men of our Monday Night Football team, I'm Mike Tirico saying goodnight from Houston. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. The Bears and the Vikings 1 week from tonight.
See you next week in Minnesota.